What's up, y'all? I'm back. Nice. Get to see me twice in a day, huh? Twice in a day? Well, that's what you're going to get when I'm slow and not busy. Because I ain't got shit to do. So, dibs. What's up? What's up, my man? Todd, what's cracking? But bored too. I'm a little bit bored. I'm not gonna lie. Sitting at home freaking gives me some anxiety sometimes, man. But now I found, like I said, I've been off. I have time. I just keep looking at my gram and I'm like, huh. And there's so many people I chat to with on a regular that I've always loved to go on a live with, and I never can meet up with those time zones too. You know what I mean? So one guy I was chatting with, hopefully he'll come back in, or he'll jump in with me here. Because I've been trying to chat with this guy for so long, but it was funny today too, because I'm like, hey man, we should do this and blah blah blah. And he's like, yeah, cool. And I'm like, all right, cool, that'd be dope. Like let's have a chat. That'd be back. Like I never left. I did leave though. I actually did leave the house today. I'm not gonna lie. But then I started crunching out the time zones with this guy, and I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm only 6 hours ahead of you. You know what I mean? But he's already into the next day. So it was like, I was like, whoa, yeah, duh, what the heck? You know what I mean? So I really have been wanting to chat with this guy for a long time. We chat all the time. Really, really, really good. Yes, Angelo's cars. Yes, I can fix furnaces now for sure. If your furnace is enlightening, it's a high efficiency. Sometimes there's a little rod in there. You got to scratch that baby up a little bit to get that flint going. Yeah, fix that today. Can't stay, but jumped in to see. Keep killing it, brother. Thank you very much. What's up, everyone that's coming in? Oh, shoot, sexy boy. Yeah, Todd, like I said, I had to do the math in my head. There me and my wife sitting there being like, pretty sure it's only like a 6-hour difference. And then he's saying like, no, it's like 16. And I'm like, oh, yeah, duh. It's Saturday over there. Duh. So... But he's going to try and come in, but I know that he was saying that sometimes his Instagram works a little finicky and this and that. So if he doesn't have more, we'll shoot the shit. It don't matter. Christina, how are you? CJ Reed, what's up? But we'll see. Yeah. So HPS, y'all might know him by the sexy boy, depending where you're at, if you're down under. Really, really, really good painter. Putting on Tor Rod. Is that a movie? There he is. Let's see if we can get him on in here. I think it's about... Shit, see, I'm going to... I think he's at like 10 or 11 a.m. where he's at, and it's about 4 o'clock here, so can you fix those flames? I can't fix the flames, man. I can't fix the flames. I mean... Let's not... Damn it, Chris. Come on, man. Come on. You know what? I don't even pay attention that much. I'm not going to lie. I don't have cable. I just have like all the, like the Disney, the Netflix and all that. So I don't get to keep up with my flames very much. But I got my brother who tunes me in all the time. He gives me all the info, even when I don't want to know, even when he's like, oh man, the flames, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ah, shit, like I can't fix them, man. I can't fix them. We need, couple first round draft picks, I guess. That's all going out to Edmonton. Is that a protein shake? You know what, man? It is a protein shake because I had to skip dinner because of the time frame. Not that I mind. I don't mind at all. But I was just like, oh yeah, it's like this and that. Yeah. So I thought I'd pump a little one of these, take one of these down. Just tastes good. I got lots of water though. Come on, John. I'm not much of a drinker, y'all. I'm trying really, really hard not to drink pop, because I love it. And it's real bad, real bad. Bruins are lucky we can't play outside of Canada. Yeah, that's crazy how that is. Is it a vegan shake? This one specifically doesn't have it, but we have that Vega protein that we'll put in. That like ground up hay smelling shit. We'll just put like a scoop of that in there. And sometimes, it's like you got to choke it down. These actually taste pretty good. I don't even know what this is. My wife buys it. And I don't have these very often either, only because it's just like, do I really want a supplement? I don't really know. Maybe I'll just drink the water, but it does taste good. So let's see what's going on with Mick here. Just busting your balls. Hey man, that Vegas stuff's really good. Canadian hater, ha ha ha. Bees are gonna smash y'all, Chris. But I still love you. They still have Zdeno Chara on that team. That guy's a fucking giant, man. There ain't no freaking taking that sometimes. Like, that guy is huge. It's Friday. Yes, it is Friday. Sometimes I like to have a rum and coke or something like that. But through COVID, I've been doing a lot of that. And, I think someone was saying this the other day. I'm kind of starting to feel a little bit of a burger there. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you got to watch it. Sometimes you got So on the less I work and the less I get to play hockey or do any sports, no, he's gone too. Well, that's good because Zdeno Chara was fucking massive. Backbone builds. What's up, Brian? What's going down? It's so funny because a buddy of mine, he changed his name. I'm pretty sure this is him. And I might have been seeing him on Instagram now and not even really realize that it was him. But if it is him, what's up? What's going down? Friday night? You having some beers? I'm just trying to. Oh, feisty. I'm having a protein shake on this Friday. James Wells Construction, what's up? Hey, motherfucker. Yeah, it is. It's me. It's Brian. Nice. I just want to go to a hockey game with Danny, Dazzling Dave, and Chris. Ha ha ha. Dude, that'd be dope, man. But we'd have to go see the Flames because that'd probably be the only team who would win when we go to see a live game. Just joking. I don't even actually know. It's funny. The last time I took my daughter to a game, we were losing let's say 3-2 or something like that. Maybe even worse. And then it was few minutes, maybe 9 minutes left in the third, and I'm like, do you want to go? And she's like, yeah, okay. And as we're walking out, it's they score, tie it up, get into the fucking parking lot as we're getting into the car, turn the game on, freaking win in overtime. I'm like, oh my god. That was the first game I took my my daughter to, and I was just like, shit, that would have been hype for her to see that comeback, but it didn't happen. I want to play hockey with you guys. I would love to play hockey right now. Hell yeah, that'd be dope. And there's rinks all around right now. I should just throw my skates in the truck and just go out whenever I can. But it would be sweet. It would be sweet, man. Do some painter hockey, get some teams going. Hell yeah, that'd be dope. Mickey, where you at, man? HPS, where you at, man? I'm missing you already. Oh, maybe it's not working on his end. We have a rink here. Really? That's dope. In Hawaii. Nice. Yeah, man, I love skating. It's super fucking fun. It's so much fun. I like a lot of the winter sports, to tell you the truth. My wife's probably going to kill me for this, but I actually do like snowshoeing. Let's go. All right. You got a request to be in, man. Request all the way at the top. There'll be a pink button there. You got to request because I can't request you. So come on down. Come on down if you can. Just click the join in. We have indoor rinks here, fake ice. Well, it's not fake ice. It's just man-made ice, right? Because you can get that fake looking kind of ice that they practice on sometimes. You got the man-made ice. You got the good old California man-made ice. Yeah, and here we go. Here we go. Oh, weird. I guess it does let me request if you ask me to request. That's weird. So let me shake her. Go to the settings here. Oh,
Hey,
can you hear me?
how we doing, mate?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellente.
Just I'm trying to adjust my volume so I can hear you a bit better. Anyway, I did have wireless speaker connected, and she's decided to become unwireless. So we'll run with this.
That's all right. Can you hear me though?
Yeah. It's just I've got lazy
Oh, that's all
ears.
right.
You've got the headphones on, mate, so it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, a little bit. I've been trying to figure out how to not have these on and just Bluetooth to the board, but there's no way for me to hear you. I'd have to put them on. So I'm like, all right, fine. I'll put the headphones on.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Good, mate. Yourself?
I can't complain. We've been chatting. I've
No,
had some time off, so I've been able to, just relax and indulge in that. So it's been pretty sweet.
that's good, mate. Yeah, it's
Yeah, man, I can't
been a long
complain.
time coming. Actually, I've been looking forward to this conversation between the two.
Yeah, no
Kind of been
doubt.
in the loop for a long time, but never happened.
And it's probably like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I keep saying like, let's do it, but yeah. And like I said, I was having a brain fart with the the time zone. I was like, what is going on? And I was like, yeah, he's in Saturday. Crap.
Yeah, yeah, it can play on your mind a bit, especially when it's like you said, 6 hours, and I'm thinking, no, it's a bit more than that. I'm pretty sure it is. It's if you go forward your way, it's 6 hours. Then you
Right.
need to add another, and then another day.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Well, I'm glad that we got on, man. So how's things with you? You looking fresh? You're looking good. It looks real beautiful. Like it's a bright room you're in. Like it's what, 10,
Yeah,
11
I've
a.m.?
got a bit of an area where I don't have too much sunlight, but yeah, Saturday morning here, like you said, it's just gone over 10. It's afternoon Friday for you, so
Yep, 4:11 here right now. That's right. Yeah.
but no, I've been good, mate. Works can't complain with the current climate that everyone's obviously encountering
Yeah.
globally too, not just in the countries they're living in. Where this year's kicked off really, really hard and quick. We've gone back really early this year due to the backlog of things that had happened, and that smashed into the current work that we have.
Right.
And to be honest, I can't complain compared to what other people have been going through. It's been a tough year that I don't think anyone in history has probably ever encountered, apart from the diggers and the war veterans. So life's okay. Life's good.
That's good, man. Have you had to stay home like a few weeks, or did you have to take a lot of time to stay home? Because I know some people got locked straight up. When we got locked down, I was still able to slightly work because we were out of town. There wasn't a lot of guys. So did you get to like still work a bit?
We did. We were lucky. In saying that, we had some of the toughest restrictions in the world.
Yeah, I heard.
We have here. And it was a bit crazy from this side looking out at what's going on everywhere and going, well, how come they've got X amount and we have like 2 people in the state's lockdown, like if we have a bowler. But there was a time there, we were working right up to about August, and there was a time when they introduced restrictions on site and they made it a 5-man rule, which was crazy. There's only so much 5 guys can do, and sometimes you need 10 men to do things like lift up glass, or you need the manpower to be able to do the job.
For sure.
Plasterers were even saying, well, if I've got to hang, a 2-meter sheet and it's 1.5 meter distance, then what the hell are we supposed to do?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the logistics don't work. But when they introduced the 5-man rule on site, we kind of we didn't lose. I didn't lose no work. It was just productive work. So we had about a unprecedented 5-week break, and it was on and off.
Right. And did that affect you much? Because so for anyone that might not know, this is HPS. He's from Sydney.
Melbourne.
That's all right, mate. But either way, so why don't you just tell us a little quickly about yourself? Because you probably have like a crew of guys, and because I was going to ask if that affected you and your crew, because you have a crew, and what are you doing mostly? Like new home builds, rentals? Like what's your deal?
Mainly new, but then you will get some new / extensions and renos, as you guys call it, remodeling.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, we still call them renos too. Yeah, renovations, but yeah.
And and with a little bit of commercial, a little bit of industrial, but mainly residential. And there might be a complete new home, or there might be a massive extension, and then it's renovated into the part. But yeah, mainly residential. And there's 4 of us, so I've got the 2 business partners and the apprentice. And I find it's a good number. I mean, ideally, I would love to have maybe 1 or 2 more guys to pick up the slack, but then sometimes you put more people on, you're trying to find more work, money management's harder.
Ooh.
And then you end up slitting your throat and you're getting through the work, but the number at the end of it's the same.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So
I know. I'm currently bleeding on that right now. So.
Yeah, and anyone that's been in this position, especially in construction, like cash flow is difficult, and nobody's got a spare 50 grand sitting in their bank account to go, well, I'm cool, and I'll trickle that back up when we get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's when we get paid. That's another thing. You might have a job where a builder goes under, and that when ends up being your issue.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Not really. I mean, we've had disagreements on variations and extras on jobs, and sometimes that come down to, I guess, from both sides, miscommunication or things that weren't in a spec, and you've done it, and then they think, no, well, that was part of the job, but never really fallen through on a job where you're like, geez, that really hurt. And I hope not to either. That's something I don't want to bring upon myself.
Yeah.
And I don't wish it upon you.
Me either, man. And even like you said, even if you had the money, do you really want to take a gamble on fronting it all out? Like, that's a scary business.
It is. I mean, you do that at casinos knowing you might lose. With this, you don't do this to lose. You do this because it's your job and you're here to earn money. Like, it's
100.
I don't love it enough to do it for free.
No, heck no, heck no. Or to do it for a favor for someone. I mean, okay, I have relationships that I've made with people where they say, okay, it's 30, 45 days. Okay. So you kind of, take into account for that. But man, sometimes when it gets on like day 47, 48, you're like, yo. And then and it still comes through, but it's like, whew, man, like, I don't like playing like that. You know what I mean?
No.
So.
And there's a lot on the table when you're hanging out. And let's be honest, everything's to the builder. It's their contract to their, how they operate, which I understand too. But yeah, sometimes the days can get a bit long and stretched, and the accounts are starting to look a little bit on the edge of my credit. And then they're like, shit, I've got to pay a young guy and I've got things due. And then and then it all comes in a surplus. But as quick as it comes in, it goes out.
Oh, yeah. I found it really hard to take like the profit out of that, right? It's like you got to wait. And then how do you steal the profit sometimes out of that? You can't if you got to float it again,
Yeah. And like you would know, you do 3 jobs, and by the time you've done the 4th job, like you're almost doing that job for free.
Yeah.
Because of all the material you've bought for 3 jobs equates to what your profit was on the total.
For
of that
sure.
job.
And if you're not watching it, oh man, like you got to watch it closely to make sure, like, do I want to front this next one? Like maybe I should just take it easy, collect, and then start again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So sometimes it's funny when you break things down like that. You look at it from a different angle. You think, I'm painting this house for nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
For free. But that's just how it works.
That's the name of the game. Are there any laws, at least there, that help with contractors getting paid? Because like really here at the end of the day, if they want to stiff you, I guess they could stiff you,
Yeah. Look, they are, but let's be honest. Laws aren't here to protect people.
And it costs you money to go and enforce the law too, right?
It does. And then you might, by the time you see it, after 3 years, it's not worth nothing. You've been through the system for that many years. You're exhausted mentally anyway, and probably there's no fat left in it. And the guy, he goes under, opens up another name.
Yep. Yeah.
And you get nothing. So it's, we have a thing called VCAT here where it goes to court. And unfortunately, VCAT sometimes is more for the client, not the builder.
Mm-hmm.
So if the client thinks they're being stiffed by the builder, they take the builder to VCAT.
Right.
And it is more consumer protection than the builder. And I feel sorry for a lot of builders because I've been in the game and my old man's a builder and I know how it all operates. And builders are looked and frowned upon as the dirty player in the game. And it's actually the contrary. It's the other way around. There's a lot more shifty people out there who don't want to pay, and builders doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. So, the lawyers. I've seen that in the past. The lawyers are always the guys that are like, well, I know this law well enough to bend you. So I hear a lot of horror stories about lawyers that build houses.
Yeah. Oh, mate, yeah, 100%. And I mean, they string it out, they drag it out, they get their fat. Let's be honest, they could probably solve it within a week and cost you $5 to $7 grand.
For sure.
But no, it's going to be done. It's going to take 2 years. It's going to take 2 years. if you and I did that, that house would be a $300,000 paint project, and nobody knows.
Sure. But I mean, it's like, I don't know how it works with some of those builders, but I'm probably sure it's the same, because sometimes there's builders here that like it when the trades invoice, because every time they invoice, they're getting a little bit of percentage on top of that as well. You know what I mean? So, and then I'm sure there's the cost plus guys that it's like, hey man, if this takes 2 years and my guy shows up there to sweep the floor, here's the bill. So but you're right. The consumers, they push, right? So I found the good builders here are the ones that just stick to their guns and say, hey, if you want something good, it takes this amount of time. This is the price. We can do our best. But sometimes those builders get pushed around, and then it comes down the line, man, and everyone starts to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? So
there's always two ends of the stick in there, really, when it comes to it. So there's shit trades and there's shit clients. It's just how it rolls. But I think sometimes the trade or the builder, they get more bad rap than what it really is.
I think so.
And there are dodgy builders and trades out there too. That's like everything. There's always something, but you just have to sift through it all. And like you've probably got some great builders you know and trust, and they trust you accordingly too, because they use you. They know what you deliver, and no bullshit. And it ends up being like a big family unit. Everyone works together. Tries to.
That's what I like.
Everyone from it. Yeah. If you can have that mindset and mentality, then everyone's profiting as good as they can, as quick as they can.
100%, man. And I think that it's just communication comes with that too. Because I do have a few builders where it's like every time they get at me, it's like you're rolling the dice a little bit. It's like, all right, like what's going to be up with this one? You know what I mean? So then it's like, do I want the work? Do I not want the work? And they're like, well. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know what that's like, man, because sometimes you got mouths to feed, right? What are you going to do?
Well, we do. The responsibilities everywhere, as you know. So like, your family, you've got your business, you've got the guys that you work for you, plus your account you've got to pay. Like
100.
Everything's affected.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, it's dangerous. So you're probably pretty swamped these days, hey?
We are flat knacker. Like for this year, we went back probably the earliest I have in 15 years. So I went back on the 4th, and that was a kick in the teeth, seeing everyone else on hold. But I had to do it. I don't know what the year's going to unfold in the middle of the year, and the work's there. So I figured I'm only going to be sitting around home spending money, so I'd rather be out making money and spend it a bit later.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We're swamped. We've got some great projects coming up. We're currently getting through a couple at the moment that were backlogged not backlogged, but they stretched out from last year into other projects. So we're playing catch up as much as we can and trying to explain that to people, because people have short memories, what's happened. And I said, there's only 4 of us and we're going to need to do so much.
Yeah, 100%.
And trying to get through it quick, plus weather dependent what's going on, and still not skip process and do everything right. Yeah. Just go. And
I'm sure now everyone wants it. There's probably this feeling of a little bit of like everyone's getting antsy, because now there's probably some restrictions lifted. So now it's like, hey, let's get back to it now. Yeah. And you're right. They probably don't remember. It's like, well, hey man, we still haven't got to this step. We can't just jump to this step yet. So take it easy. Yeah. Right.
And as you know, if you work for a few different builders too, their job is the most important job. They don't care about any other job, which I understand. That's business. Yeah. But you've got to categorize and work out, all right, what job's closer to handover? What has a tighter deadline? What can I get through quicker to get to the other job, to stretch yourself out?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's the juggling act all the time.
Oh, man, it's the juggling act. And it's like I know a lot of people might think multitasking can be bad sometimes, but I'm like a multitask master, all while trying to judge their schedule ahead of time, so I don't have to have 5 different phone call conversations and be like, this is what I was saying, you know what I mean? But like you said, they have their own agenda, so that doesn't always work. And man, you lose money that way though, man. Like if it's not ready, and if it's not ready for paint, there's nothing worse than having someone be like, well, just come and just start chipping away at it. I hate that.
Man, the chiffy's putting the last bit of skirt on. You can start over in that bedroom. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that, buddy. Like I said, we're here now. We're going to have to lose the day here.
Yeah.
But I said, you've ruined your schedule and mine by getting me in again early and telling me, I'd rather you just be straight up and say, hey, listen, one more day or 2 more days. Yeah. And there's probably a chance that it might delay a day or two on my end. And I get it from the builder side because they're thinking 1 or 2, get you in early, then there's a week lost. If anyone or any of the builders that don't use this, then I can get it. But the ones that do use this and they know we make up the time and we get through the work quick, then it's generally never an issue.
Yeah, so, for sure.
But you're right. You've got to multitask what their thoughts are and then try and make up time somewhere else and then guess what they're doing. And sometimes I don't like doing it, but you might throw a little bit of bullshit in there and say, oh, look, man, we got stuck on the job, or, you know, like you've really just got to mind read, or you don't take a call. Like I've done that. I'm just like, I don't take the call. I'm not ignoring you, but I could get a phone call in half an hour and then my call to you was just wasted. I have to call you again because shit's changed.
Yeah. My brother says that to me all the time because sometimes same thing. I'll look at my phone and then I'll just say to myself, I'll take that after. And he's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, well, because I'm not prepared. If this guy calls me and he's got a schedule or he's got this, like, I want to see what he says first. Maybe he's going to leave me a voicemail so I can kind of like follow back on it properly so I don't put my foot in my mouth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's tough, man. Like everyone says, oh, self-employed, it must be great. You must, you know, have all this fun. I said, man, it's not all it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. It's challenges and challenging, but you work harder. You don't work, you know, less.
Oh, you work way, and we're actually having to work hard for it. Because I know some people, and this is nothing against the desk job, but sometimes it's like, let's be real. Sometimes that can be easy money on some days. You know what I mean? Boss ain't looking, this ain't looking. But sometimes, like, you know it, I know it. It's like no one else is going to spray that built-in. I'm thinking about it in bed the night before. I'm like, man, damn, I got to go do this, you know? And you got to go in there and you got to get your hand dirty. Like, you literally have to work for that money. No offense to anyone that doesn't do physical labor, but you know what I mean? It's like you're literally working for it. And then you have other people that are following you along, right? So
many nights, and I'm not saying it affects my sleep, but many nights, I'm sure you'd agree, you wake up and the brain turns on at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then you're like, need to get that done because then tomorrow I need to be here. I need to finish this by the end of the week. Because if I don't, then that's going to run into the next job.
Mm-hmm.
And then next minute you're sitting there at 2:30 and you think half an hour's just gone by and I'm awake. And me laying in bed looking at the ceiling thinking about work ain't going to fix nothing. If I don't get no sleep.
For sure.
So shut up and get to bed.
Yeah, 100%. So, I feel you. Well, I got someone here saying, delegate, boys, put people where they're most successful. And I would agree with that. But sometimes, as you know, Mick, I think at least, maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but I don't know about you, but I haven't been able to find people that can really do what I'm doing. Because you know how it is when you're the one at the top. Sometimes, like, I know what people are saying, like, find somebody that can do what you do. That's not easy.
Not as easy.
Or they would be doing it on their own. You know what I mean? So it's like, I get it, Brian, much love, thank you. But I'm struggling to find that because for one, I'm OCD. And for two, I think spraying lacquer on some of the shit is really difficult to do. So I don't want to trust my money with somebody else. You know what I mean?
And look, and you can train them all day long too, but that still takes time. That still takes money and takes away time from you on jobs. So, I mean, in the long run, it's a smart thing to do, to train. But then also on the flip side, you could train someone and then they're like, thanks a heap, Danny. See you later. I'm going out on my own, which I get also.
It happens.
But, you know, you got to sometimes thinking of the future doesn't help you out now, but then thinking of now doesn't help you in the future. So it's catch 23
catch
situation.
20. Yep, 100%. Definitely. Yeah, Spray is life saying all my guys are better than me. And I can definitely understand that. A lot of my guys are really good as me, if not a little bit better. But it's like more than that, right? You know that, Josh. You run that shit. It's more than that. Your guys aren't taking accountability for anything other than their 8 hours. And that's what scares me, right? That's why I can't completely step back yet. And I'm still young. I can still do it. But I'm just like, at the end of the day, like, they're not collecting, it's scary for me to just be like, okay, make sure you do it, and then there'll be repercussions if you don't. Some guys are like, fuck, I don't give a shit, you know what I mean? So Josh, send me some of your guys, man.
Yeah, I'll take a couple too.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'll put you on a working visa.
Yeah,
if you can get out of the country. So.
Yeah. Brian's saying, well, you know, get them to take the phone calls for sure. But when your builder's calling you, they want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to the help, you know? So
that's right. And you know, like that, and you, as you would know, things change within 10 minutes. You could have a plan, and then that plan goes out the window because you've had a call. You need to do that, or you check the weather and go, well, hang on, let's rotate that schedule because it's pissing down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's go there, do that, and come back to the other job. So it's just constantly shuffling and readjusting. And you've got to be malleable. You've got to be able to flex and move. And just spin a little bit of shit in between.
For sure.
Sometimes I don't like to hear the truth.
The truth hurts.
I don't like the bullshit too much, but, you know, we've all been there.
Yeah. I think I'm a really nice boss, and I think that's one of my biggest problems. Not that I can't lay the hammer down, but it's sometimes, at least what I found is I'm a little picky. So the guys I have, I know them, I know what they can do, and they can do it well. So sometimes I think about, maybe I should reach out, not even to replace these guys, just for more help. Then I don't know. I don't really like where it's taken me sometimes because, you know, some of it's man, some of it's too high end, and that's not a horn, toot my horn. It's just like, I'm like, man, like that's like a freaking $10 million home. Like, should I just trust some guys with it because they can do what I can? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, you'd know. Okay, just say for argument's sake, you get a call today. Builder goes, price a job, you price it. He goes, yeah, I've seen your work. Don't need to come and look at really much, which I think Insta is good for that. Because you could talk all day long and say what you do.
Yep.
If not necessarily someone's seen it, then they're only going by your word. So Insta is good for that thing as a virtual CV.
Yeah.
And you get the job, and he goes, all right, start, let's say 4 weeks, and you go to start it. And it's a big house. Like you said, $10 million. Money's kind of not an issue there. Just timeline, which we'll work around. You want to be on site and make sure that's being done right, and you might take the reins on the finishing or the undercoating or whatever the thing that you do, you find that gives you that end result. But then you might have other jobs where they're a lot smaller, still nice jobs. You might go, well, I trust my guys doing that, and the end result's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I would agree with that, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Do you have sub crews that you use at all?
No, mate, it's just us. Like for me, it's easy to go, we have all this work, but it's just as easy to ruin it. Like you've been doing this for X amount of years, you sub it out to another crew. And it takes one job to kind of ruin your reputation or the name.
Oh, yeah.
Over a quick stuff of $5,000, $10,000 or whatever it might be. Money's money, but you can't pay back your business with money. It's not like Instagram where you can get followers.
Like those, what is those Etch-a-Sketches where you just give it a shake and it's just like bam and there it is. It's all good.
So there's certain jobs where, not to say you deliver a shit product at the end of it, but there's horses for courses. You know, you're paying for that finish and you're paying for this finish. How many coats? How much do you detail it? Where do you stop detailing? Where does the OCD stop?
Yeah, that's a struggle for sure. And that's all going to come down to the price, I think, and the cost and the time. And it's like, oh, man, I hate that. That's why I hate having to do that. I just try and find work where I don't have to do that because it drives not only me crazy, but it drives my guys crazy because sometimes it's like, how do you say to them, do a good job, but don't do too good of a job?
Well, it's the perception, isn't it? What your too good of a job is. Like, and that's the thing. The trained eye, especially with a finisher, it sucks.
Yeah.
We see everything. Every job that we've ever done, I'm like, that can get better. That can get better. Where do you draw the line?
Oh,
the client comes in and goes, holy shit, man, look at this. This is the best shit I've ever seen. And I'm looking, it's not bad. Yeah. Like, it's good. But I can do, and they're like, what are you looking at? You know? So you're looking into your finish, into it.
Yeah.
They just, I don't know. It's the trained eye.
Yeah.
It's a curse, but also a gift.
That's a really good way of putting it. Yeah. You're staring into it. They're looking at it and you're just, But that's why sometimes it's just like, I just let them have the look first, and it's like, oh my god, it's like, okay, and you're like seeing all these things. You're like, okay, sweet.
Check, please. Thank you. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. Yeah, for sure. That's crazy, man. Are there any things that you have to struggle with running your business, like being self-employed? Like it seems like it's pretty smooth sailing for you guys, hey?
At the moment, I mean, like you have it's like this cyclical.
Yeah.
You know, it's never straight. It's never like that.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're not doing that, then you're in trouble.
Right.
But at the moment, the thing I'm struggling with is keeping up with bookwork. So keeping on top of deadlines for quotes or tenders.
Yeah.
Even invoicing, like I try. That's important because if you don't invoice, you don't get paid.
Yep.
But just keeping on top of that at the moment because long hours coming home.
Oh man, tell me about it.
Exhausted, and then having to sit down in front of a computer and do a tender. Some are quick because I'll have all the specifications and it's all there. Even the breakdown of the square meters of the house, square foot, as you guys run with. And I can work off that. And if I've got to go hunting for it, it goes from a half an hour quote to maybe an hour and a half. And, you know, after coming, you get home, long day, 5:30, 6 o'clock. So, hi kids, smash your face with food, jump in the shower, sit down in front of the computer at 10:30. I feel like you close your eyes, you're back up at work. And you're
I hate it. That's what I've been trying to get someone to do, like maybe my wife. But then once again, there's that OCD where I'm just like, ugh, like it just, I don't know. If it's not broken, I try not to fix it, but I could use some help sometimes. But it depends, right? Sometimes I'm not that busy, right? So I'm like, I'll take care of it. I'm a workaholic.
But then in that moment, you're like, I'm not that busy. I deserve a break.
Thank you.
So you don't do nothing for 2 days. And then you look at your emails and go,
yes.
10 more quotes.
100%, man. And I like to nap. I've noticed that now because I've had time. I'm like, just like you're saying, I'm like, and let's be real, I don't really like sitting in front of a computer that long sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I've made the systems kind of like Dragonfly was saying. I've got like all the spreadsheets and stuff so I can just plug the numbers in. Away I go. It still feels professional. I can still trust it, you know, because there's nothing worse than getting tired and then being like, okay, fuck, here it is. Just send it. You know what I mean? So I've, you know, improved on that. But you're right, man. Sometimes I'm like, man, I've worked so hard. I just need to chill out. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to take a nap. And then you're like, shit. And then you are there that next morning like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Pumped it while it was. Look, I've been trying to go, all right, let's make it Tuesday, Wednesday, office day. And every other day, just maybe catch up on emails and flick it through backwards and forth. Make a, whatever day, the office day. And if it's there, and even if it's not due for 2 weeks, smash them out and keep on top of it. And some days that does work. In other weeks, no way, mate. I'm getting home at 7 o'clock, exhausted. So then that rolls into the next potential office day. Something pops up again and you mightn't get home or you just legitimately have no energy. And you just can't stick to that. Like if you have the 9 to 5, you're in, you're out, you're off, whatever your issues were at work, you left at work and you come home and you've got a few little things to do. Easy said than done.
Yeah, it is. Because when I was busy and I was trying really hard to stay on top of all that, I was doing it well for a while, but I found that I was becoming miserable. And I was starting to resent it, right? And I was like, okay, this is like, maybe, I started thinking to myself, maybe I should just work like a few extra hours every day, maybe work 10s and then take like Friday off and just have it an office day. But like, you know, too, man, it's like, I'm like, okay, this Friday is my office day. And then shit starts to happen through the week. And you're like, I can't go in the office today. Like, you know?
No, and if just say for argument's sake, in a perfect world, that did work. And then you're snowed under with work. Within a couple of months, I can guarantee you'll be going, we need to catch up on this job so I can get to this next job and we can make some good coin. Let's work the Friday.
Yeah.
And then you're back to square one again. So you're doing more hours. You're still doing 5-day weeks, probably Saturdays and even some Sundays.
Oh,
and
man.
the next minute, you're resenting yourself again.
Yeah, especially if you have a family. I get a lot of resentment from that because I don't tell my wife when I'm going to be off anymore because there's been so many times like, don't worry. I'm like, I'm pretty sure next week's looking like I might have like Thursday, Friday off type deal. And then it just didn't fucking happen. And then I'm like, and I'm like, so I don't say anything now. When I have time off, I just stay home and I don't even say like today, I know I'm going to be home for a few days next week, but I won't say that. I'll just let it happen. You know what I mean?
Your secret's safe with me, mate.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I'm in the same boat, buddy. Don't think it's just you. All our wives are bitches. Nah, honestly, it's hard. And then you get told because you don't communicate. But I'm like, how can I communicate with you when I don't know? And I'm still waiting to hear from this person to that person. And if I tell you now, all I'm doing is talking, and then I'll be talking to you again in 20 minutes because shit's changed.
Yeah.
So it's hard. And I feel bad. I do feel bad. I'm not that much of a bastard.
No, me too.
I do feel bad. So the missus, because, you know, shit's changing, and it's easy for her because she goes to work and has her house, and her working schedule works around the kids and school pick up, drop off, and all that. And I'd love to be able to go, I can do it, and I probably can sometimes. But if I was to do that all the time, the business wouldn't work. It just wouldn't exist.
No. Is she in the live right now? Lindsay, get into the live right now. You need to hear all this.
She's out, mate. Yeah, nice. She's out. That's why I've been able to do this too. So.
Absolutely. But I throw a lot of love to my wife because, as you know, man, I mean, I couldn't do it without a solid foundation backing me, right? It just wouldn't work. So they put up, well, she puts up with a lot of my shit. I don't know if you've been seeing my stories lately. Even now, I'm just like digging it to her. I got time off, so I'm picking her ass. It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
I did see that one you guys popped in briefly to get some furniture for the.
Some yeah. Oh yeah.
And you should have had a bitch and moan about everyone on the road. And,
we went hungry, which was a mistake. So by the time we were done looking at freaking 500 handles, and then the guy in the store, I was like, hey, there's no prices on these. He's like, just write down what you like and then come back to the counter and we'll get you pricing. And I'm like,
no, what's the other way around? I like the price first, and then I look at the product.
But dude, so then we do all that, go to the counter. The other guy looks at me. He's like, oh, you could have done that on the computer right there. And I'm like, why the fuck would this guy tell me? Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's vintage style. Why the hell would I do that? You don't have like a SKU somewhere? And then in the end, they did. They had the SKU right there on the computer. I was like, my God. Yeah. But hey, someone asked a question here, and I'm curious to know too. Do you do contracts when you send estimates, you get jobs? Is it in a contract, signed, sealed, delivered?
Some are, some aren't. So some are tenders. So I don't know if it works, how it works over there. Some of them I don't spend too much time on. And what the builder wants is that they only have a certain amount of specs too. And it's hard to build or get any prices without specs. So they have a basic spec. For instance, I got one just recently. I said, this is a very basic plan. Yeah. There's not much on here. I've got no detail really, nothing even external. I said, do you want just an internal price? And they're like, yeah, that's all we need. So that's a tender. So they get a rough pricing from all the trades and they go to the client, this is roughly what it's going to cost to build. So that way I don't spend too much time on quoting because I probably won't get it. And the builder might get it. Or they might. And then if they do, then it goes into like a contract. So you come back and review the quote, and it could have completely changed. It could have gone from a single-story home to a double. Mm-hmm. That's what happens.
Right.
So then you go through all the specs, and then some builders do it, some don't, and then at the end they go, yeah, we're happy with your price. We've used you or haven't used you, whatever. And you just sign a document stating what your price was, what your breakdown was, and what you've included in your quote. And sometimes some things do change, and they become variations. And you do the job. And then it covers everyone's ass from, oh, no, man, I think the job's worth 5 more. Or, hey, this is the time frame. And if you stretch it for too long, we'll do damages on you too for taking too long to do the job.
Gotcha.
And it just keeps it tight. And you have to have contracts.
Yeah, for sure. Do you do it if it's like a repaint from, like, say, just the public demographic?
Not usually, man. Like, I'll send the quote. The quote kind of is technically a contract, but not signed, and it's not legal binding.
Quick little thing. I heard I don't know, this must just be might be bullshit, but is there a law in Australia that you're bound by your word?
Possibly. I don't know that myself, but
really, hey?
I think that's a good thing to run off.
Well, I think because like I'm the same. I don't send contracts out, and people are like, man, that's a little risky. I'm like, well, if we're emailing and I say to you, here it is, reply back with like yes or no. If you say yes, then you've agreed to my
Well, like,
terms.
it's all documented, isn't it?
Yeah,
Regardless, and that is bound by your word.
yeah,
So unless something changes, and then that comes
yeah.
down to miscommunication.
Yeah, that's tough too because some of the builders here, most of them are pretty good, but that's why I don't like sometimes doing it like, hey, we just need a rough estimate. Here's the plans. We don't know the specs. We don't know this. Because as you know too, some of the houses are super detailed. So if I come back and I'm like, whoa, like you got some pretty crazy profiles on the doors and the door fronts, like,
Yeah.
sometimes they're just like, well, you could still do it for that. And it's like, well, I don't like
Not
pricing
really.
it. Yeah, not really.
Yeah. Well, I've had that many times before where I priced the job and they didn't even have the specs. And they're like, oh, it was on the plans. I said, no, it's not, mate. It's not even on elevation. And I've asked, what are the doors? How high are they? How big are they? And as soon as you drop a router into it or tack on a profile, that nearly triples the amount of prep. And not the paint. They just think it's paint. I said, yeah, paint's the same. It's the prep, man. You got to sand out the profile.
Yep.
You got to add an extra bit of primer to the routed bit because it furs up the MDF or whatever it might be. I said, and then you got to cork it. Then you got to sand I said, it's the time.
Yeah.
So that's exposure.
Yeah, it's a ton of work that they don't seem to see sometimes. But I mean, hey, I guess that's why they hire the professionals.
I think some don't see, and I think some don't want to see. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
or
know
they
it's
see
more
it.
money.
They see it very clearly, and they're like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've said that before where, like, like, it's no different. Like, oh, can you just do that? And I say, well, do you guys just get your hammer and nail gun out and tack on a room? It's more or less the same, even though the size of it's the same. But I said it's still the same amount of work for us. It's no different.
For sure. So how do you gauge or like how much give and take is there, and how do you gauge that? Because I like all my builders that I work for, and there are times I want to be like, yeah, man, I'll do that for you. But sometimes it's like my dad used to always say to me, work hard, but don't work too hard sometimes because that's all they'll ever expect of you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So it's like, how do you gauge that?
It's a fine line, and I think there's a bit of give and take, and it depends on, again, the builder, the relationship you have with them.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do some things off my own initiative or even off my own back, and I know it doesn't take much time. So for argument's sake, a job we just done, it was a reno repaint at the front, super modern thing at the back.
Yeah.
And the front door was knackered. And when I say shagged, it was probably an 80-year-old door. And it was going,
Jeez.
the best colour? What's the best colour for old paint?
Black. Oh, damn.
So, man, even you can tell it's an old door, because even in the profiling and the timber how they made, not through like our laser lathes that we have now and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. So I spent probably an hour prepping it, good sand, and then another half an hour caulking, filling and sanding that, and then getting ready for undercoat.
Yeah.
Flooded the undercoat, flooded on the build up, get it really chips down, and then do it black. And look, to be honest, still ain't perfect, but shit, it looks good. And I'm like, I don't mind doing that. Like, because if I just throw black on this, they're gonna go, you haven't tried.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I have, but it's a shit door.
Yeah.
So a little bit more time, and then they had some furniture on there, like at your shop that you went to.
Yeah, some
and
hardware.
It was all bronze shit, and all their hardware was black, and it looked like it was originally a brass.
Right.
So I gave it a bit of a clean up, light sand, just had some gold aerosol in the car, sprayed that up, like shit like that. And the client comes and goes, oh, mate, this is great. Thanks heaps for this. Didn't take me much time. The door did. But that type of stuff, and a little thing like that goes a long way.
It does.
If people see that, then, they know that you are doing more than what is outside your scope.
For sure.
You just hope that on the same thing on their side that they don't try and push and get more out of you.
Yeah, I know. It's hard because I like to be a nice guy, but sometimes I feel like, not that people walk on me, but I don't want to feel like I'm being walked on. You know what I mean?
It's respecting.
Yeah.
It definitely is a thing. And I think if ego doesn't get involved, then it's like, hey, man, you know I'm a nice guy. You know that could be pushing the friendship, and it can be vice versa.
Yeah.
It's like the old Green Day song, isn't it? Nice guys finish last.
Yeah,
So,
it doesn't help sometimes, that's for sure. I call it my Mr. Burns. Sometimes my Mr. Burns will come out and I'll just right? Cuz
I think it always shines through whatever you do as a person, your work and whatnot. You have to stand your ground, and there's nothing wrong with that, because if you don't, you get walked on.
Yeah.
But in saying that, you don't be an asshole about it either. You can just you gain respect by doing the right thing and being a nice person. If people don't like that, well, then they've got separate issues to deal with.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with that.
Very true. I know sometimes I try and play it all like I'm just going to keep this strictly business always, but that doesn't always work, man.
Come slide with your jocks from a hallway just with a white shirt and glasses. Risky business.
Say again?
Do you come sliding down the hallway like Tom Cruise?
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, from Ferris Bueller. Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, it's a tough one because there's a lot of guys I've talked to recently who've seen some of my experiences like, man, it's like, you got to tell them like this. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I could tell them like that, but do I still want the work? Do I want to have some sort of like viable relationship? Like, yeah, you want to stick it to the man, but also it's like, it has to be rational communication. You know what I mean?
Again, I think it's respect and an ego thing. I think if ego's not in there, and I've been down that road before, where it's been one-sided.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the perception is a bitch too, because the builders probably thought, oh, you've done nothing for me. And I'm like, well, man, you guys don't see what we do and what we've done for you and how much we've had to go around and sand your plaster as patches. You haven't done nothing. We're here now. We're just going to do it. I'm not going to invoice you. If I was a bitch, I'd invoice you for it.
Yeah.
We just want to get the job done as much as you need it done. We're here. And sometimes it just seems like it's one-sided all the time. Yeah. And after a while, you know what? I don't have to do anything for you. I've had enough of this. And you walk away from it. Yeah. You leave it as it is. If it's shit, you walk away.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Do you ever sit there and think about it forever and you got the same problem?
Well, that's just it. I mean, and then you're going in circles, and then next thing you know, it's like, well, hey, man, I feel like I'm pushing this cart in circles. We're not doing it together here. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I don't know. And you always get the, well, just, I got a couple more coming down the line, so, like, help me out on this one. The classic.
I've been a story 1,000 times, and a couple of young painters I've heard the same story from too, and they're just getting into business. And, look, that's a mistake everyone in the game has
for sure
done. Because you're doing it for the best thing, and they've been in the game for a long time knowing that card gets played and used on new guys all the time. Like you said, can you drop 5 off this one? I'll give you plenty more work. We've got a hit coming up. And then that never comes.
Yeah.
It never comes.
It didn't. I had this one guy. I was trying to get in with them. They're a great builder. They do really nice work. He was a nice guy, and I still think he's a nice guy. There's nothing against him, but it was like, I quote one for him. Oh, man, it fell through. Okay, I'll quote another one for him. Then finally on the third one, I said to myself, I was like, I'm going to quote this one for this guy, and I'm going to tell him now, the next one's going to be this much. You think I ever heard from this guy again? Never. So I think he was like getting my quotes, feeding them to the customers. Yeah. Yeah.
To the customers using, I don't know, Scooby-Doo. And then paying them the money and then taking the profit on.
Yeah, man. And I was like, oh, man, that's I need to be a home builder if I want to screw some people over and make 15 points on like a job. Like, holy crap, man. Like, I was just like, but you learn that when you're trying to expand, right? Like, I would rather have people come knock on my door, but hey, man, sometimes you got to knock on people's door if you want to get the work, especially if it's specific work. Because I didn't just want to do anything, right? I didn't really want to do that.
I mean, look, we've all started off there too. We did anything. That's how we all got here. We just didn't all land with a high-end builder in your pocket and then that's it. Like, and everyone in the builder, he would have done the same. He started off probably pulling out nails out of decking.
Yeah.
And then ended up being a multi-million-dollar builder, and doing well. So everyone's had their journey in success. And failures are more important, because without the failures, you don't grow.
No, for sure.
Learn.
No.
So, that's the merry-go-round of life in general, isn't it?
Definitely. I got a question for you, man, because that just made me think of something. Kind of in a situation. So this is what's weird. So it's like you said, not everyone just starts out with these builders, right? And sometimes things might come your way. So like if you were working for a guy and then through the process, maybe they weren't happy with that guy, but the only reason you found that builder is because of this certain individual. If that builder knocked on your door directly, would you take the work?
It has happened before. Either A, I have not known the person, or I might have. That's a tough one because one, I don't want to be shitting in anyone's bed and being dirty, thinking that I'm stealing work off them. It's like, well, hang on, he approached me, so we can put that out the window for starters. He came to me. I didn't go to him. So maybe something happened that's fishy, like you guys have had a shit relationship, he's trying to get back at you. I don't know at all.
Yep.
Sometimes I've said no because of just a bad feeling of probably the builder's dodgy and fucking overtrade.
Yeah.
Or two, because I might have known the person and thinking, you know what, you need to go and sort out what your issue is with this person and get this job at least done for both of you and then part ways. Because I've had a builder come to me once before about that. And another time he said, look, I'm going to give him one more go because they were going to use me on the job. I said, mate, you use him, you sort your shit out. If it ends up working out, great. If it doesn't, I'm always on the end of the line. But I said, yeah. And then you maybe might contact the person if you know him and just go, listen, mate, he's contacted me. I'm not here to take work off you. There's enough work for all of us.
For sure.
Letting you know he's called me. So there can be a lot of things that can be an issue in that situation.
Yeah, it's driving me bananas right now because the door has been knocked out a few times and I've been called a few times, but I've had a relationship with these individuals where they've kept me busy too. Like it's subcontract work. So that's why I'm in that situation. But sometimes when the guy that I'm working for shits himself and fucks up and everyone down the line fucks up and we're still the ones standing there like, well, yeah, we always want to do a good job. So whatever. So that's a situation where I'm kind of like, well, hey man, you're dropping the ball here. But then there's other situations where it's like, well, why are you calling me now? Like, what's wrong with that guy? And it's like, well, if you did it to him, you'd do it to me. So I'm like, do I really want that? So I don't know, man. It's
look, and I think even worse is when it's midstream through a job. So you're picking up them halfway through, and you're like, I've walked into some jobs before, and I'm like, what have they done here? Is that finished? That's not. What have they used? And I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, as much as I want to help you out, I don't want to be stuck with now the issues you had from the start and probably what you've done at the end. So I'd be like, I have to treat this like a repaint to half because I've got to, and I don't know if my shit's going, it should be fine. Most of the time it's fine. But if there's an issue with my shit then going over the top, it could be all the prep underneath. But then treat it as a repaint and a new part. So it's not going to be saving you money getting me coming in because then I have to treat it like if I'm repainting it. If it's not good enough. If it comes in brilliant, then I'll be like, well, hey, why are you calling me then? This is good work.
Yeah.
Is it a money thing or you just had a big blue on site and you can't fix it? Or he got really sick. Or just be honest with it. You got really sick, can't finish the job. Can you give me a chop out? That's fine.
Yeah, for
sure. And that could be bullshit. You could be telling me a bullshit story.
100%. 100%. And I never like touching someone else's work. If someone started something, more than likely I'll walk away and just be like, I ain't touching somebody else's shit. There's too many problems. You're not going to understand if I was trying to explain. Well, it wasn't me. It was the.
Like, you're talking shit to them and they're like, oh, you don't want to do the job. It's like, mate, you just don't get it. It's the same with a builder. I come in halfway through a job. They've got to put their license on it with a builder. They've got to put the license on it. So if they take over somebody else's job, I mean, and I've got a trained eye, so I'm pretty sure most will know what they're looking at. But you don't know if foundations or footings have been done correctly, and they've got their license on it for 12 years on foundation. I think, or even more. I think foundations is 15. But general insurance on a house is 7.
Wow.
So they've got to wear that. Going
Yeah.
to bed every night in 15 years to go, fuck, is that house going to fall down? So you just don't know.
Don't blow too hard. That's funny. Yeah, that's too bad because sometimes the consumer, the customer gets stuck with that, right? And it's just like
Oh,
shit.
and that's where I understand the laws for that side of it, and shit's happened because has been a dodgy builder and they've been trading insolvent, and it gets to the end, and then the consumer's stuck with half a built house on a loan, and they can't get another builder to come in because they don't want to put their license to it. But
Yeah.
that's where the insurance companies need to come in and go, well, that's the reason why we pay insurances
Yep. That's the
to help
point.
the consumer. But it's like Eddie Murphy said, do you ever feel insured? You know, like, it's bullshit, mate.
Oh yeah, I like the one where he says, he's like, that pussy ain't yours. That pussy's on lease with an option to buy.
That's it. So that's my excuse me.
Yeah, the singers, man, they get all the pussy. That's for damn sure.
That's it, yeah, it is.
That's a great one. I love that one. I love that one. Well, let's talk a little bit about that. You started talking a tiny tad about products. So, like, what kind of products are you guys mostly spraying for, like your top coats? And then I have another question for that. Is the undercoat a primer, or is it just called undercoat, or is it something? I think have I already asked you this?
Yeah, okay. So I've flicked over finally to a waterborne system. I still do use the otter oil, but we've been using the Resine, which is a Kiwi-based company, New Zealand.
Yep.
And then they're waterborne, not aqua, because aqua for me is just not even worth mentioning. And that's the reason why I have never really run. Their waterborne enamel is brilliant. It sprays like an oil. You got to drop it on a bit heavier, and it dries super fast, flattens out. It feels rock hard. It feels like Emperite, like 2-pack when it dries.
Oh wow,
it's amazing. So nice to use. I just felt like I was in heaven when I started using this product.
That's wicked.
For a gloss side of things, still not quite there. I think the technology needs to get there. It drops. Being an acrylic, it just doesn't have that shine like enamel. Lucky enough, most stuff is a satin these days. It's not high gloss, so you don't have to worry about that too much. As for primers, so you've got acrylic sealer primers, which is mainly for like you guys call wall board, so plaster boards and whatnot, and that's great for that. Then you've got your primer sealer undercoats, which is more. People go, oh, they gum up and they don't sand well, and I'm like, well, you shouldn't be really sanding your primers that much. They're designed to go on heavy, self-level, flatten out. It really doesn't.
That'd be freaking awesome, man.
Yeah. So if you really want to sand out routed edges, you might brush in like an ASU, or like there's a product here called Shield, which is almost like a plaster compound, and that fluffs up like talcum powder. And then once you've done that, then you do your PSUs, you lay them down. You still might nib it, like I run over it with 320 or 240, and just knocking off fibers. Right. But if you're trying to sand flush primer, like flush down, and it's gumming up, and because it's got a bit of a shine to it, so it keeps the gloss retention in your top coat. That's the reason why it gums up.
Yeah, it gets gummy, yeah.
You're kind of doing it where you're not spraying it properly. You're not laying it down enough. So you've got to drop it like it's hot. No, you got to drop it like you got to drop it down, flush, like if it's the top coat.
Right.
And then you do your 2 top coats. If you're going to sand and you want to get it flatter again, you then might sand between your first top coat to your second top coat. That sands up better.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So how hot does it usually get there?
We've been jibbed with summer for the last 2 years, and it sucks because last year we had on record probably the worst bushfires and still didn't get a summer. Get that?
Oh, shit.
So
sorry to hear that.
When I say get a summer, for you guys, it'd be sweltering and everyone would be peeling outside and bathed in, ice water bucket challenge.
Yeah.
But it's been up and down. Like we got one day that was 41, and then it took a while to peak to get to that, and then dropped 10 degrees in the space of 5 minutes. But it's been in general pretty summer. Like it's been between 21 to 27, a couple of 30s in there. But when I say that, like 22 one day, 34 the next, then 18 and raining,
Oh man. Yeah,
then
that's tough.
24. It's inconsistent. They call it Mother Nature for a reason.
Yep.
Because if it was Father Nature, he'd be like, right, it's going to get fucking.
For sure.
man. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Did you hear that? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But yeah, it's been shit. But in general, when I was a kid, mate, it used to, and I think it goes in cycles too. Like, call it climate change, call it whatever you want. I don't really believe in that to a point. But every 6-7 years it comes around. This is like the El Nino, whatever they call it. Some Spanish guy comes in and goes, "No, I'm going to take all you that away."
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but it's when I was a kid, it'd be like 27, 28, 29, 34, 35, and then drop 26 showers and thunderstorms, and then wreck back up again. So the last few years has been
just juggled mess. Yeah. So does that really affect the way you have to spray?
It does, mate, because the last few weeks been very humid, and we all know humidity and waterborne is not the thing. The Queenslanders would know all about that too.
No doubt.
So you got to draw water air through the house, keep it flowing, because when you spray, the water becomes airborne, which creates more humidity, which then leads to not runs but inconsistent drying. So you have it splashing off,
blemishing and stuff.
Different when it dries. You're like, the moisture gets stuck in the paint, especially with waterborne, and then you get like a shiny kind of patch, and then it's like the satin, which is the 30%. So you got to draw the moisture out and airflow.
Crazy.
No lack of.
No, yeah, easy. I figured it would. Yeah, there's no that would be really hard to do. Like
it is. Yeah, but I'm saying lack is a bitch in hot weather. I mean, you got the perfect climate for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. When it gets hot here, that's really the only time I have to add some retarder. And I live in like Calgary in Alberta, and maybe in the summer, maybe on like a good day, it'd get to like plus 30 degrees Celsius. So that's like, and then we're all like, oh my God, it's so freaking hot, but it's not like that very often. So I don't have to do too much. Like you said, it's like the conditions are perfect, right?
Yeah. So that's where I really enjoy, and I still do. Enamels or solvents were great because it didn't matter what time of year it was.
Yeah.
I still added the same amount of thinner in it, maybe a dash more in winter because the viscosity was thicker.
100%.
And I'd never had that issue with the flashing. It would do what it wanted to do. Yeah. I've got spray thinner in it, tacks off, dries. It just would maybe take longer to cure on the other end when it's cold.
Yep.
For me to cut walls back into, and you might have to give it an extra couple of days. It can be real tacky and gummy.
Yeah. So how quick does the resin dry up? Like, say for example, if you had a couple man doors and you sprayed them top coats, they were finished. Could you lean them together the next day?
Easy.
Really?
Easy. Okay, so the resin is a low climate paint, and you can add an additive to it too. So when it's hot, because I find it flashes off fast, you can add an additive to slow it down. But I have, with their quick dry undercoat too, I've undercoated twice. Second coat heavy. A medium coat of luster acryl, which is the satin waterborne enamel, and then flooded the second coat on. Picked up, hung the door, put the furniture on, all in the space of probably 3.5, 4 hours.
Wow. Damn, and that's super fast.
Yeah.
Huh.
On when I say that, on a day that's 18 degrees to 20, and it dries super quick, real quick, and it's rock hard. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, even aqua enamel, you couldn't do that. Because I find it stays tacky on the hand for a while. And rubbery. It might be dry, but rubbery.
Yeah.
It's just the science in aqua enamel for me. It's shit. It's just not there. There's some are better than others.
Yeah.
But they've kind of, whatever resin they've done, they've worked it out. So for me, so resin comes from the word resin. And when I first started using it, I was like, this is like a waterborne resin. And that's what it's like. Feels like it on the hand.
No doubt.
Smell it and look at it and how it works. It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, with the solvent bases, it's like it's so fast. It just dries so fast. It's like rock hard, and you can like sand it, you can do everything with it. Sometimes for top coats, like you want to be careful because it will fuse together sometimes if you try. But man, it's just so quick, but it smells like shit, and it's got
And
its
you
ups
know
and
the
downs.
process too, the cleaning up, the spraying. You need to wear your full mask, your full suits.
Yeah,
And I understand why people are running with a waterborne. I mean, look, let's be
100.
honest, solvent is going to be around forever.
Yep.
But in saying that, if waterborne was as good or better, then solvents would be long gone. So they still haven't found that.
That's a
That
good point,
bridge.
man. That's a good
Yeah.
point. Very good point. Very good point, Mike. Y'all hear that? Get off my back.
So yeah, look, and I still, that's what I love about solvents. That you can really play with them a lot more than waterborne.
Yeah.
It's just the beauty with waterborne is just a mask, if that sometimes, but you know, mask.
Yeah.
And the cleaning up, just water.
Yeah, that's why I get a lot of people ask me. It's like, what do you use to like clean your machines? I'm like, lacquer thinner, man. So it costs me to clean up, right? So
It does, and it ain't cheap. And then you got to buy gun wash, clean all your equipment. So you know, you get your build up on your guns. Like I find the handset's the most important, and your tips. Your machine can be dirty and it's hard to keep clean, but you know.
Yeah, and if there's different thinners too for that, like you said, gun wash. Not a lot of guys like. It's funny. I was standing in the paint store the other day, and the guy was asking for thinner. He walked out with like 5 pails of lacquer, but yet he didn't know the thinner to put in it, and I was kind of like looking at him like, dude, like, whoa, that's dangerous, right? And I'm like, well, don't put gun wash in it. Like, you gotta. That's for cleaning, man. Like, but he had no clue.
No, or you get the people on the other hand that buy thinner to clean their guns, and I'm like, that's an expensive way to clean your guns. Like, you know yourself, like a 20-litre lacquer thinner will cost a lot more than a gun wash.
Yeah.
And still not as aggressive as a gun wash.
Yeah, for
It'll
sure.
clean it.
Yeah.
Expensive.
Josh from Spray Life said, use primer to clean finish out. I have done that many times, man. Many times. But fuck, that could be expensive too sometimes, right? So.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you might be short. I've done it. I've been low on gun wash, gone to the car and picked up the 20 and gone,
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, I get the 2 center out because you need to put something in the gun. Because if you don't, that's going to cost you probably $1,500 to put a new gun by the time you get home.
For sure. So do you keep all your guns and lines intact to your machines? Do you leave product in your machines, or do you? Because I see some guys I didn't notice I noticed that he had his line like detached, and they put their lines on every time for setup, and put their guns on every time, and I'm like, damn, like I don't do that.
No, I always, when I'm done with them, I'll pump them out, clean them out with the water or thinner, and I'm done. Unless I'm midway through a job and I can't be bothered dragging the gun out to the car because I know that straight in the morning I'm going to be back on it. I'll leave it on site, like locked up.
Yep.
In the pantry or something.
Yep.
And I'll have the handset in a bucket of water, the machine still in the paint.
Yep.
And have it on pressure and turn it off.
Yeah, we do the same.
You can do that forever.
Yep.
Like people go, oh, can I leave the paint? I said, mate, well, it's a 0-0 air environment. It ain't going to just harden in your line overnight unless it's 2K.
No.
So I said, you could probably leave that in there for nearly a year, man, and it mightn't dry.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I'm laughing because a guy on my YouTube, one of my YouTube videos was like, I was talking about the filters, and he was like, whoa, looks like somebody doesn't clean their filter very often. I was like, well, I was mid-job for one. And then he's like, oh, I only ever really have to clean mine like 1 to 2, like once or twice a year is what he said. Or if they become dried out inside. And I was like, how the fuck does it dry out on the inside of your gun? I didn't even message him back because I was like, hey, man, are you just like trying to dick measure here? I'm like, what? I was just like, okay. Like, how did your filter dry out in your gun, bro?
Yeah, no, unless you've had, I don't know. Like, I think you've got to leave a little bit of fluid in your line or in your machine. Like, I think if you completely clean it out and then pump all the water out and not clean it properly, then it probably will dry out. But I think people get carried away too with cleaning their machines too much. Like, I think thinners in a little bit of dirty paint is better than completely and utterly clean water. Like,
it's like you can't swim with your towel on. You know what I mean?
No, that's right. So, like, I'm not super anal on keeping things clean, but then in saying that too, I figured if you've got too much time to do complete strip downs every time you use it and clean, you've got too much time on your hands. Like, I'd love to have the time to be able to sit there and detail my machines. And to be honest, I probably get to do that once a year when I'm on my break.
Yeah, I'm the same, 100%. How many machines you got? That's my biggest thing, because that's why people say, oh, well, you just don't. I'm like, dude, I have like almost 10 machines. I'm not going to service them all myself and then clean them every day like spick and span. Like, sorry.
And I like the handsets get pretty gunky after a while, so I might strip them down once every 6 weeks and give them a clean out. My tips always sit in a bucket of thinner. They might come out a bit gummy and shitty because it's the solvent based with waterborne. But at least they're not locked up, dried up, clean. I just knock them off with a cut down brush and a rag, and away I go.
For sure.
I've got, what have I got? I don't even know. So I've got a HPLP, which I hardly use, but they come in handy. Old tech. Very slow.
Dude, believe it or not, I've never used an HPLP in my life.
You're not missing much.
Oh, okay.
You're not missing much. Look, I mean, they were great when they came out. That's all there was. But I mean, I still do find them handy. Like, for instance, we just did a couple of heritage homes, and they had the old wrought iron fireplace. Instead of using aerosol, instead of getting the airless out and running 4 litres to only spray half a litre, you know, I got that out, or even the handheld, and then you got to clean out the thinner. Go through and all the shit. It's very basic. It's a pot, pushes air into it, one-way valve, keeps it pressurised, and pumps the pan out. And when you're done, thinner in the pot, pull the pin out, drop it in there, it's done.
That seems really nice.
It's handy for little stuff like that.
Yeah, that seems nice.
And you can run it down to like 100, 200 mil. You don't need excess paint to operate.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
So I've got the HPLP. I've got my 1095, the big boy, which we use most times through the week. I've got a 495. I've got the 595, which was the air assisted, which I converted just to airless.
Oh, okay.
I kind of wasn't sold on the Graco air assisted.
So quick little sidebar on that then, because sometimes I get those questions and people say like, hey man, what do you think of like the AAA? And once again, I've never used an air assist. So like, it's like, what do you think about it? I kind of feel like it's an overkill if you're not starting from at least scratch. You know what I mean?
I agree. Like if you're not running air assisted primers to the end, then you're kind of like trying to do the good finish on top of.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if it's pre-prime casing and then you're like, oh, I got my AAA, it's like, well, did you sand the primer down smooth as fuck? Like, because like you're you know, so.
Look, I think there's a lot of different takes on it. I think product is a big one.
Yeah.
Like you can run a shit product through an AA and it'll give you the same as through an L. It won't matter.
I see. Yeah.
In saying that, with the resine. And I haven't run it through an air assisted, but I can see straight away, even just on the airless, I don't reckon I'll get it much better. And I'll be less productive because it's slower.
Amen.
If you're doing furniture and you want to drop your PSI and pressure down, like you're doing maybe, and you want to get around little fiddly bits and pieces, because you're dropping that and you've got more control, then definitely they're fantastic for that.
Right.
You're not paling, you're not getting, excess product in the middle, nothing on the outside. So air assisted is great for that. I found with solvents they work really well because they atomize that soft edge better, and you're getting a really finish. But the Graco unit, I don't know. For me, it just fell short. It had some great things on it, but fell short. Like I have, so going back to where we were, I've got the HPLP, 1095, 495, 595, which is now just going to be airless. Airless. I've pulled off the air side of that unit, and I'm still doing it, being lazy. And I've got 2 F230s, which is like your pot done typical setup.
Okay. Oh, like the diaphragm pot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've got 2 of those. One's just a spare thing that I got really cheap off a dude, and the other one is the one I'm grabbing the air side of the Graco, which I really like, but I didn't like the Wagner.
So you're Frankenstein in it. I think. Oh wait, I seen you put a post on that. Yeah. You're building it.
I'm still doing it. I finished the 595. I've just got to go to a company here called NZ, and what they do is they cut the ends off hoses and reconnect them with different shit.
Yep.
I've got to fart around with that, and then I've got to put a cage around the compressor and put all the dials on and everything. And it all works. It just looks very ugly. There's wires and shit everywhere.
So what are you planning to use that for?
Well, I still do solvents here and there. Like it might be edge priming. Still a solvent gun. That's what I loved about that unit. The diaphragm runs a lot better than a pump unit when it comes to solvent.
Yeah.
Smooth operation, easy to clean.
Yeah.
You're running minimal paint through it, and it works all the time. You don't have to worry about bearings sticking.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. No. I agree with you, man. And I don't like having to carry a 5-gallon pail with the pump sometimes.
All on the top, it's streamlined. And if and when, which is rare, the diaphragm shits itself, 4 bolts, plastic thing this big for $50, goes on, put it on, prime it up.
Oh, I'm still here. Yeah, it's just telling me my phone's dying, so I'm gonna plug it in.
No, you do what you got to do.
Hey,
you do what you got to do.
Yeah, just gonna plug this in.
I'm gonna see also if I can get this Bluetooth speaker to work. Just decided not to.
There we go. Yeah, we're good. Now we won't die.
See if I can get you to. See if this thing's gonna work. Yeah, so
all good.
Going back to the, have I got you or not?
All good. You here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can't a sec, mate. I've lost volume.
Check, chickadee check.
For some reason you've gone to phone. Just wait a sec. Let me disconnect off Bluetooth. All right, we got you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go. For some reason it doesn't like the speaker. It's weird.
Did you plug it? Did you plug it in?
No, it's all Bluetooth.
Well, I was hearing somebody talking in the headphones while that was happening. That was weird.
Yeah, it's probably the speaker telling me that it's on.
Is it Alexa? Alexa's listening to us, isn't she?
I don't like all that shit. I don't need enough women to do what to do, please.
Oh, fuck.
But so yeah, going back to the air assisted, so that I've got to make up just an aluminium cage around the compressor so it keeps everything. Got to go to NZ, get the hoses cut and reconnected. I'm going to put an onboard, as you probably know, they don't have an onboard filter. They've just got that little mesh.
Yep.
I found it clogs up your handset filter. It's way too much.
It can.
So I'm putting an onboard 100 mesh on it, and that'll pick up the bulk of it.
Yep.
And then that'll keep my handset filter running for longer.
For sure.
So I mean, that'll pump more paint through that, probably an extra half a litre.
Yeah.
For the less of blockages and all that shit's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I found that too, especially when I started tipping down to those 08 tips. Excuse me, especially with my primers, man, those things would just, no matter how clean my filters were, just plug. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? So maybe it's those little diaphragms, like maybe mine just wasn't pumping hard enough, because I didn't really get it that much with, say, a 440 or something else. But I love them for the thinner lacquer coats, man. Like I've
used them all, and I can honestly say, not just because I've just got the Graco one and think it's great, and haven't used the other one and think, hey man, I've used them all, and the F230 for me, it was a smoother, more rugged unit, and it just worked. And I had it for 8 years, and it's still going.
Nice.
Decommissioned for now, so that'll become my solvent unit. That'll be, and I can use the G40 on it, or I can use the AC 4600. I can switch guns.
Yeah.
And that's another topic. Like the G40's got a great air cap on it. Light, feels really nice in the hand, but you can't reverse the tip. You get a block, gone.
Really?
And the filter is this big.
Oh, I've seen those. Oh God.
Tiny plug. So and it's annoying. You get a blockage on one of those tips, you're battling for 15, 20 minutes to unblock them, and then you can go, oh, spray, and then block again and just lose your mind. So the AC 4600 is, in my opinion, probably even a slightly more superior gun in that sense, but the air cap isn't as big. So it's getting in as much air as it should. But you can reverse the tip on the Wagners.
There you go.
You got a bigger filter, but the gun's a little bit heavier and a little bit more robust. But you know, that's what I was saying to you. I reckon if these peanuts who design this stuff, they're nearly there. But if they just listen to the guys that use them all day long, they could make an amazing. And that's why I've decided to do it myself. Bar the hand.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull it all apart and do what I want to do with the gun.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right, man. I don't think they're completely listening. I get a lot of shit for tearing that rubber guard off with the housings.
I do it. I've been doing that for years.
Me too.
When I've seen you do it, I'm like, somebody else is doing it. And like, why does that look like shit? I said, it's not about it looking like shit. I want this thing to operate.
Yeah, man.
Because I'm getting on the guard and then I'm getting
100%. And I had a few guys, and I know a few like spray companies, they wouldn't even repost my work because it was like a safety issue. And I was like, well, fuck, man, design this shit better. Like, I have to tell you by ripping this off, and now you're giving me shit because it's a safety issue that it's not working properly? Come on.
Well, from what, though? You hitting the product, the surface you're spraying, or what's the guard for?
Well, they think because, I think the rubber guard is meant to help. I mean, if you ever drop the gun or if it keeps the tip in place, and I'm like, you can still get an injection from having that on there if you're fucking around with it still.
What, that much? If you're that close to anything, you're going to get injected
anyway.
Yeah.
So I started taking them off, and even Dazzling Dave, the tech guy, he's always like, man, be careful because you can get fined for that. And I was like, well, I've never heard of no one's ever given me shit until I got on Instagram, and they were like, whoa. And then people are like, well, what'd you do there? Where'd you get that housing? I'm like, I just ripped the rubber off of it. Well, why'd you do that? And then I explained it to them, and they were like, oh my God, that's why my spitting is happening. That's why this. And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, but you're right. They don't even listen to our mistakes.
No, that's right. It's either that, or if you're prepared every time you make a pass with a wet rag hanging out of your pocket to wipe down the face.
Yeah.
Then you get built up from that, and then it just ends up messy.
Yeah.
And if you're doing the big channel, you can't really stop midstream and wipe it.
Yep.
So I found that with you just squeeze it and they pop off.
Yeah, they just pop right off. Yeah.
The Gokos they're different. They're like infused into the housing wrapped around. If you pull the whole thing apart, the whole thing falls apart. So I just got a multi-tool out and just cut the ends of them off.
Yeah.
When I those tips. But I even went one step further because I found that sometimes the housing comes up a little bit too high on the side where the tip is.
Yeah.
And I got a grinder out and ground out the top corner and around there. And then I found I have no problems with spitting. Nothing.
Me too. That's why I did it. The only thing I did notice that could be a little dangerous, like say if you weren't watching, which I mean, while you're spraying, you'd have to be watching, but if somehow it turned, like the tip turned like a quarter turn or something, and the orifice is covered and you go to spray it and it goes like, you know what I mean?
Possibly, but it's still got holes each side, doesn't it?
Well, so, that's what I'm saying. So I get it, but hey man, I don't want to do like 50 man doors and then look back at like the first 20 and be like, this motherfucking shit was spitting. Like, what the hell, you know?
Okay, let's use the same example then. Look at gravity-fed automotive guns. They've got an air cap, and that's it. They're going to have guards on them. Okay, you could argue, oh, well, then they're only running at 2.5 bar with air and it's all gravity. Still paint and shit, you know, like it's, we're running at, let's say, 1,500 PSI. But the same product. I know you just get injection from that, where the other one you won't. But you're only going to get injection also if you flick the tip around and you're blowing the reverse. Or no tip at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I use my machines aren't very powerful. Like I think the most powerful machine I have is a Titan 540, which is, you know, the diaphragms, they're not, but sometimes I could see like how that'd be scary, but pay attention. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's like, how are you not like, I'm sure you as experienced sprayer, you pick up that gun. This is one thing I always do. When I turn my machine on and pressure it up, I'm never holding the line. Like I leave it on the ground all the time because I'm like weird like that. I'm like, you never know. You know what I mean? But you pick it up and you always to the ground.
Right. Make sure you don't have a blockage. See where it's at. I blow the reverse out too at the start and then flick it back around the other way. Test it back twice, away you go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I'm seeing some guy saying like your eyes would probably take it before a skin injection. You'd probably get it in your eyes, which has happened to me and you don't want it to happen, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's had, I've had gun wash splash in my eyes and it stings for about, 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to get blinded unless it's acid or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you would be appropriate stuff on there.
For sure. For sure.
It's horses for courses. And, like if you've been in the game long enough, well then, yeah, mistakes happen, but that ain't. Only if you blow a hose. I've had that.
Have you?
Blow them. Yeah, and shit goes everywhere.
Oh my God. I would not want that to happen, man.
So quick.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Was it bad?
Only once get the rollers.
Oh yeah.
It's all over the sorry.
That's all
I had
right.
a phone call come through. Can't tell me I've lost you again.
I can still see you though. Just can't hear me probably, hey?
Just wait a sec, mate. It does this. For some reason, when I get a phone call, my media drops out.
Can you hear me though?
Got ya. Yeah, it's weird, man. My phone rings and then I lose media.
Really, hey?
Yeah. Technology's amazing.
We haven't figured it out yet? Shit.
Nah, man. Nah. I'm a bit ignorant. I could say, yeah, probably a bit ignorant with it. But
no, I'm not meaning you. I just mean like, man, like with the technology, you'd think that this stuff would be running smoothly. You know what I mean?
Drives me mad. But anyway, going back to what were we talking about before I was rudely interrupted?
We were talking about the dangers of ripping the housing off of the guard, ripping the rubber guard off the housing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and the hose too. Yeah, so that blew and.
Oh right, yeah, you had a hose blow. Yeah, crazy. That would be bad.
And, it only happened once because yourself. After a while, you're dragging your hoses around corners, and they start getting little kinks in them, and that one probably should have thrown it out. But it was a long time ago. But yeah, get the rollers out and you're rolling pipes off walls and wiping.
God.
Messy. Turn the machine off quick.
Wow. Yeah, I had an incident like that, but it wasn't with a blown hose. It was my brother didn't put his hand on the return hose on a piston pump machine. And it was crazy because like the two hoses were in the top of the hole in the pail, but he just quickly flicked the switch and this thing shot out the top and was like, and was just blasting everywhere, right past the homeowner and the contractor. Like we were, oh my God, what a nightmare, man. We didn't have any rollers. Let's just say that. It was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good learning experience, right?
Make a mess, that's for sure. Well, it is, mate. Yeah. Don't turn it on flat out from the get-go. Just low and then wind it up to your pressure.
We know that now.
Too late now, isn't it? But yeah. So how have you been, mate? What's been going on your end? You've been doing furniture, I see. You've done different, which is that's obviously probably force of hand, but you've kind of used that.
Yeah, well, it started when I slowed down, and then my shop would sit empty, and I'm like, oh my God, the shop is sitting empty. That's money going out the door. And then it was all at the same time that I, was getting emails sometimes from like designers, hey, do you want to do some furniture? And then they wouldn't get back to me because I think it was just too expensive because it was like one more middleman. They would have to buy it. They'd have to get me to spray it. They had no return on it. So I just said to myself, like, I'm going to fucking just give them like a 10, 12 piece furniture line. So just because I was like, I like doing this stuff. It's really fun. I really enjoy it, man. And you get to have the control. They don't give you a spec sheet. Like, it's like, I can do whatever. That's why I'm using some crazy colors and I'm fuck whatever, man. I'm having fun with it, right? But mostly because, well, for one, I'm OCD. If I stay home, like, man, I get anxiety just sitting. But yeah, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. We're up and down. We're up and down. We're just, as like Josh was saying before, it's like now I've come to the point in my career where I'm tired of chasing work. So if it's not there, sorry guys, my guys, they sit at home or they find other stuff, but I'm just tired of chasing it. I don't really need to work all the time. I'm not rich by any means, but sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to take it easy because it was always grind.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be flat out work, and it's easy to fall into that trap because we've been doing that since we got your hands on a gun or was doing labour work. So it's easy to be, I should be working. No, there is a time every now and then, if you do the math, you've probably been working flat knacker for 98% of your life. So what's 2% in that?
Yeah, and that's a good point, and that's what I've been starting to feel and realize the more time I've been taking off now. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm not like, oh, I need to get back out there. I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. Why didn't I do this while I was busy, And
I think that comes with age too.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like when you're younger, it's just gung ho, and then as you start getting a bit older, it's kind of like you've gotten where you want to in life to a point, and you could still probably get further. But I think you're already here with career, life, and whatnot. And anything else is still just going to be there anyway. Yeah. So you start to enjoy here more.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not compromise the business, but you just start, looking at things a little bit differently and taking, like you said, the work you want to do on.
Yeah. I'm valuing my time different, I guess, like you're saying, right? I'm picking and choosing more as opposed to just always like, I got to keep going. Because you know what it's like, man. Sometimes it's not even worth it. Like it would have been more worth it for me to sit at home. You know what I mean? Just to keep guys going, right?
And it's like the weekends for me are now important. And it wouldn't even matter really to a point what that job would be worth for me to do if it was one day's work.
Yeah.
Like my time just to chill and recoup is worth more than me going to earn $500 for the day or $800 for the day or even $1,000 for the day. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to have to say no to it because where do I draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Like, rest is probably equally important or more than what money's worth.
It is. And the older I get, I'm starting to focus more on that because you're right, man. Like, first of all, I have the personality where it's just like, I'll just take it. I'll whatever. If it's a mountain, I'm going to fucking climb it. But now I'm like, it's like, I value my time more. My kids are already getting so old. And I'm like, shit. So it was a benefit to start young, but it was also like, a double-ended sword because that was when I was working the hardest. So I wasn't seeing them,
At the youngest. So you got 2 or 3?
2 kids. My son's 14 and my daughter is 11.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm 35. So I started fairly young, but I think that at the height of my, at my prime, I don't even really know when that was. Cause I think I wouldn't say before was my prime because I'm always still learning. But when I was going hard, they were still young. I was missing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know how it is, man.
No, there's no middle ground really. I mean, there is, but that's a very fine line.
It is.
Like, literally a fine line.
Yeah.
And then that comes down to the perception of people, what they think too. Like, oh, he's going too hard or he's not going hard enough.
That's my problem though. It's because I don't need a lot of money, but I base a lot of stuff on I don't want to say maybe pride, not even reputation. It's just I'm always challenging myself. So it's if I see work and it's dude, you want to try and paint 3 mansions at once? It's yeah, I do. You know what I mean? And if I lose, I just want to see if I can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. It's not even about the monetary thing, which it is. I mean, that's, like I said, you don't work because you enjoy it. You don't do it for free. We enjoy our work, but we don't do it for free.
No, absolutely.
But you want to try something different. What can we do this month?
Yeah.
What can we do in?
Yeah, man.
So, and I think once you start to lose that, then you're kind of well, you're probably older. and you've got no mortgage and money's not an issue and you just plod along.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So I think if you've got spice now, you need spice.
well, you need it because like I said, I was starting to get miserable. I was climbing all these mountains and being like, yeah, 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 and then continuing, and then afterwards being like, well, I've done that now, and it's like I don't feel like doing it again because it was like, man, that was either awesome or that was a fucking nightmare. So it's like you said, I'm trying to find different things, but painting homes is what we do. So it's like I'll do the furniture for a while, sweet, it'll be awesome. When we get to sink our teeth into the next job, then we go hard. But I'm not gonna keep just searching and searching and searching for work and desperate to keep my guys going, because that's been one of the hardest and biggest mistakes, I think. I would rather just sit now.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, well, like, you know, at first I needed to make, you know, money and build up my like establish myself and, you know, get some money in the bank. But now it's like, man, I just want to chill. I like doing the furniture and I don't want to quit, but it's like, I'm enjoying it. Fuck, why not?
Well, of course, man, because, you know, yourself, house is a house. It just might be slightly different inside, but you're still doing essentially the same thing. Furniture, well, it's a miniaturized of a house and you're getting same product, but compact.
Yeah.
You know, and it's different too. It's like you said, it'll feel good for a bit, and then after a while you'll be like, what else?
Yeah. Well, and like one guy saying here, so what's the end game? So what's the end game for you? What do you think? Like what
Man, I don't know. I think if you think about end game, then you kind of, I guess, you're setting yourself up to get to something and then stop. So I'm happy just to continue plugging along. I mean, yeah, plans are plans and they're great. It's good to have plans, but then sometimes I think if you don't reach that plan, then you think, oh, I've failed, and then you feel shit about it. I guess in long story short, you could say end game would be, I'll just continue to paint, and then eventually, I guess, when it gets to the point I'm getting too old, as in body, not mind, I might end up working less on the tools, maybe just let's say 2-3 days a week, and having a crew of guys I trust, like you, and then do more liaisoning with builders and clients and whatnot, and operating it that way. I mean, how much further do you get to where we're at now, really? Like, I think we are at the end game. I'm just living that every day, really, of what we do.
Fucking wise words from this guy, man. You always have the right shit to say, man.
So, I mean, end game is an end game. I mean, my end game essentially would be to retire altogether.
Yeah.
Not have a mortgage or be completely off the system, even off the grid, and enjoy the last bits and legs of my life while I can, and then not have to worry about nothing. I mean, I guess that's everyone's end game, but not everyone has that opportunity.
Yep. Yeah, right. I'm kind of on the same. I don't know if I want to keep hiring people. I'm not really sure. I almost think I would rather just make as much money as I can when I'm young, maybe try and invest it, use it wisely, and then maybe not have to work so hard later.
But I mean, and that's everyone's ideology, really. It would be a perfect scenario. It's just unfortunate it doesn't play out for some people.
100%. And like you said, well, you don't want to get your hopes up, like you said, right? And then think, oh, well, I failed, because you're right, man. It's like the wind's gonna take you there, man. So and I think,
yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes too, on another topic, I think people try too hard, and I think they create their own resistance. So if you just sometimes like you'll be forcing something to happen, and it never happens, and you keep on forcing it, 10 years have gone by. Or you just let go and just let, like you said, life take you.
Yeah.
And you'll find you'll get to that position in a different way without creating the resistance. You just sometimes just have to let things go. And it might sometimes seem like that, shit, that's not the path I want to go down, and I really don't want to go this way. But you'll learn a lot from that.
Yeah.
That process, and you probably come out the other end exactly where you wanted to be.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah, just let it happen. Sometimes you're right. I think it can't always.
You can try and push hard as much as you want, and you're still at the starting line. And then after a while, I think if you can be aware of what you're doing, go, you know what? I've tried hard. I haven't gotten anywhere. Learnt from it. Let's just see where I go from here now. And just let it take you.
Yeah. I like it that way too. And the older I've got, the more I've been trying to let that happen, because you know what it's like in business, right? It's never what it is. It's never scheduled hard in stone. So it's like I just let it fly and let it go. I don't want to kill myself worrying about it anymore. But it's actually taken me a long time to kind of realize that, because I'm always
yeah, I agree. It takes a long time and a lot. And to be honest, like it's not saying I don't give a fuck about stuff. I do.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a matter of when do I stop giving a fuck and just let it do what it has to do.
Yeah.
So I'll do what I can within my being, and then if I can't do that and people aren't happy, well, hey, mate, I'm only human. I'm only doing what I can do. It's going to get done at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Yeah. I've been not being so hard on myself. Because it's like, hey, no, it's just, I'm trying to strive for like greatness all the time, and it's not good. Everybody, that's not good. Give yourself a break.
And you'll find that then that starts affecting you personally, or your personal way of life, and then you just end up being cranky and grumpy all the time, and after a while you don't even know why you're cranky or grumpy.
Yeah.
Because it just compiles and eats at you.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And is that part of being an entrepreneur? I don't know. What do you think?
Probably is, mate. I didn't read the handbook.
Yeah, no doubt. Me either. Good freaking point. Man, this guy's always got the best sayings. I didn't read the handbook either, man. I'm trying to just, go with the flow, like Josh was saying. You just try, right? But other than that, man, I'm not complaining too much. I can't complain. We got some stuff in the works, but it's a waiting game right now. We did one project, now we're waiting for the other one, and then the other one's delayed. So you know how it is. It's all going to come at one time.
Oh, it does. It's either rains or it pours.
Yeah.
So when it's pouring, it's just like, man, how am I going to see the end of this? And you do. You get it done.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of screaming and yelling amongst it all, but it gets done, and then you move on, and then it might be hit and miss with schedules and deadlines, and then it pours again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough though, man. Because like you said, there's 4 of you guys, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like I got a few of my guys right now. They're just doing whatever work they can get right now, which is great. Yeah, but then it's like, okay, buckle down, because now it's like the heat is on, and it's like, well, dude, like I wasn't working for like a week or so. Like what the hell? Now you just want me to pump, and it's like, well, do you want to make money or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like I'm like, not that I'm not content. Man, sometimes I'm getting sick and tired of that. Sometimes I just want to be like, I'll be the hourly worker. How about you just let me come and work by the hour for you, and I'll just chill?
I've thought that many times too, and go, if I was to do hourly rate, work for a company, a good company though, that pays well, on the basis of your skill too, not just, hey man, you're only worth X amount. And then you got your super, sick pay, annual leave, bereavement leave, leave, Steve leave, whatever they give you. And then you do the math on it all and go, I think I'm earning like $2,000 less. Why am I bothering?
Yeah. 100%. Well, why, buddy? Why do you do it?
I guess it's not because I don't like working with people. I guess it comes back to, like you were saying earlier, it's the challenge. It would be kind of not boring, but it'd be too easy. And I like challenge. I like to challenge myself. But I also like the flexibility of me being my own boss. Not to say that I don't take commands or whatnot from people to tell me what to do. I don't know. And I've been doing this for so long. It's kind of like breathing. It's kind of natural in a sense, outside of what I can't control, like weather and deadlines. But I just like the versatility of it, I guess. And I guess if it started to get to a point where you really started to question money, time, and lifestyle, then you probably go. I probably would be gone.
Yeah.
But I'm still here doing what we do, and I just battle. And I think in the end result too, it makes you a better person. You learn a lot about yourself. You can go and do the same thing, a desk job, and no disrespect to people that do the 9 to 5, but it really challenges you and makes you look at yourself and step back at the end of the week. I've done this, I've done that, done this, done that. And some weeks are yay, some weeks are like shit.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's pride. I'm the same as you. It's just I got to do it, man. I just have to. I just like it.
And until I can't do it anymore, and there's been a few times I've questioned it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But until I literally can't do it anymore, then I'll cross that bridge when I get to that. But for
sure.
now, we're still doing what we do, and I probably wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest. It is what it is.
Either, man. If you could do something different, what would you do? Like, what was your dream? Like, did you always dream to be a painter?
No.
Me either.
I love like processes of things, and getting my hands dirty, because the old man was a builder, so I used to go on site, do labouring with him and help him out with doing carpentry and whatnot. And I fell into painting really just by chance. But prior to that, I used to do a lot of airbrushing.
Oh, nice.
Like little kind of models this big, let's say. Not women, but models. And it would have been good.
That would have been sweet.
But I'd have to like airbrush the plaster characters, or they'll be plastic, and you got to stick them together and make it look real.
Cool.
And then painting, as in painting with the brush and whatnot. Yeah. And then I enjoyed that. So then I fell into that, and then I got into painting automotive. So I really loved that. And I worked at the panel shop with me mate for a couple of years on, and then did my own thing at home with that. And then backwards and forwards, but it was still painting. I was either at a shop like you are, working for a furniture mold, or at a panel shop, or doing my own shit, or working at a paint shop selling paint. I just can't get away from it. So, but as a kid, my dream job was I wanted to do comic book art. I wanted to go and work for Marvel, DC, or someone.
Yeah, you're a fantastic artist, man. I've seen your work. Yeah, that's wicked. Thanks,
I don't do it nowhere near as enough, and when I do it, I'm like, shit, man, I really enjoy this. I miss it. I wish I had more time to do it. Just take time. Again.
And that takes a lot of time. Because it's like, I mean, let's be real. Like, you'd have to be incredibly good to do it really fast. And I mean, even the good guys, they don't do that shit fast, man. There's details in that.
No, they don't. Yeah, like, okay, let's say for argument's sake, they do a comic. I think they come out monthly from memory, or maybe just over a month, 5 weeks.
Okay.
So, and there's roughly 30 pages in a comic, give or take. So they're doing a page a day, and then that page gets sent off to guys that do the colouring and the editing, and then put words and shit in it. So to do it every day, they'd be pretty quick and speedy at it. And it's like us. We come in and paint a house.
Yeah.
And, yeah, look, I last one I did was the Philro one, or I did some other one. And I picked it up. I thought, because I hadn't done it for a while, it's going to be rusty. It's going to be shit. Within probably 10 minutes, picked it up, and I kind of flying through it. And I thought, I haven't lost it.
Yeah, nice.
Hand, So, but I really do. I enjoyed doing that. When I was a kid, that's all I did, man. When I used to wag school, I don't know if you know what wagging means.
Skipping school?
Yeah, skipping it. I would stay at home and draw, man. I wasn't going breaking into houses and stealing cars.
You just draw all day, hey?
Drawing, I loved it. I loved art. And as I got older, I found going out and getting on the booze and, all that stuff, and that slid away. And then I got into working life, and the next minute, 20 years later, it's like, I haven't picked up a pencil 15 years.
Yeah.
So, but that was my dream job. And I don't know, maybe I might fall back into something like that in a later life when time is more readily available.
So what do you think about some of this new technology with some of this art? Like, you ever see those Procreate videos?
Yeah, I'll wag stuff. Aaron, he's big on the iPad. He couldn't sell me. Like, I was still traditional.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, we better get on these," and they do look good. I guess again, when it comes to technology, I'm a little bit ignorant to it. I haven't used it enough to get my head around it all.
Well, I mean, my father was an incredible artist. I have a little bit in me, but I enjoyed drawing, but I would just get tired of it fast, right? So I didn't do it too much, but I do think that there is, like, because my daughter, she wants Procreate so bad. And I've watched the videos and I'm like, damn, this program is sick. Like, it does like everything. But
it's always cheating, isn't it?
That's what I was just about to say. There's always something to be said about actually something that's hand.
I don't know, like, I get what you're saying. You can do some sick shit. Like, you can do like a blur or rub it and whatnot, and stuff you wouldn't do with a pencil, and really fast.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, also, is it cheating? You might draw a head of someone, right? And then draw another head and another head, and then go, actually, I think that head looks better on that body.
Yeah.
And then you slide it
Yeah.
and you're putting
Yeah.
it on.
Super cool.
Or you're doubling up. You're drawing one half and you just times it by 2 and do a reverse image.
So you're right. You're absolutely right. That is 100% cheating, because I think now that I think about my daughter, I think about all the stuff she's not going to learn by doing it that way.
Yeah. So, and this comes down to, like, okay, going back to painting, when I first started with my boss I did my apprenticeship with, he did a lot of spraying and he was pretty good at it. And he goes, you're not touching the gun until you know how to use a brush. You've got to know what you're using and how to work it and whatnot. And I think that's important too. Learning the basics before you get to the top level of whatever that trade is.
Yeah.
It's like everything. You start at the bottom.
I was thinking about that the other day, because it's like exactly like when you start training people, you don't start them off with the hard stuff. You start them off with the easy stuff. But I'll agree with you that that's what's bad about the technology nowadays, that a lot of people are jumping the gun. They're jumping the gun. They're missing the stuff that they should have been doing.
Yeah. The essence of it.
The essence of it, it's
I
like.
still love picking up a HB pencil and just pencil to paper. It's something nostalgic about it. It just feels raw and real. And if you make a mistake, you get a rubber. Or, you do what you need to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, you're right, because, we're skipping steps. And I think I found that a lot with Instagram and I don't want to say the paint community, but like some of the messages I get, I'm like, dude, you just got to go and do it the hard way. I can't give it to you right here, right now. Like, what?
There's no magic potion. There's no particular way of doing it. You've just got to find out what worked, and what worked for me mightn't work for you, and 100%. Vice versa.
Yeah, and there are principles.
But Instagram thing with, I guess, what people post and, like mingling personal life into business and business into personal. And I mean, look, each to their own, whatever works for you too. But I don't know. To me personally, I think, apart from what we're doing here, we're still talking paint, and people get to see me and see you and see a face to the name.
Well, that's what's cool about it, because we've talked so many times, and it's like I've only ever seen you in your photos, but now it's like I'm actually like meeting you now, so it's like really cool, right?
And going back to technology, I mean, back in the old days, we used to be pen pals, but I think this is a digital pen pal thing going on. So
really cool.
But I like to keep business. Pleasure, well, that's my business.
Yeah.
Not that I'm hiding anything either. And if I had a personal page, if I could be bothered with it, I can't be bothered.
Yep.
I'd have it there, and I'd try and just keep it one another. And maybe you might just throw in a little thing in there, so you're not robotic. Like,
absolutely,
I'm on a holiday, show a few little things.
Yeah.
But mainly just about work.
Yeah.
So what would be your take on it all, you reckon? Like,
oh man, I'm kind of the same as you. Like I said, I did a live earlier that was talking a little about Instagram, because I've been getting a lot of people that's like, how do I blow my account up? And then what I say to them is like, well, what do you want? Well, yeah, dynamite. But I'm like, well, what do you want out of it?
Yeah.
Like, because if you just want to, like, I don't know, post a portfolio for your clients to see, okay, cool. You don't need to be posting your lunch then. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you want to do with it? But if you want to post your lunch and you want to have relationships with people, then yeah, maybe keep it on like a personal account. But if you want to do like what you're doing, then it's like you have to have thick skin. Plain and simple, it's a marketing platform. If anyone's on here other than for their business, then you should keep it personal, right? That's the way I feel about it. Like me, it's like, I don't always want to, like, I do want to chat with people like yourself. I get to know people and stuff. But when it comes to what the main view of what people are seeing, I always like to keep it painting. This is what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, right? So I don't know. It's a tough one, because I think technology-wise, you can make a lot of money off of it if you monetize it properly. But it turns stickler, because it's like then again, it's tough, man. And it's been sort of a blessing, but also like at the same time, it's been a double-ended sword, because it gets personal sometimes for other people. And then a lot of people, they want to message me and maybe start a relationship based off of the wrong feelings. You know what I mean? So it's weird because I don't know how to keep it strictly business. There is no in the inbox.
That comes down to your choice.
Yeah.
And you will hurt people in the process on that, but then that also, they've got to understand that it's still your choice. You reached out to me. I didn't reach out to you. Not have anything against you either. But,
no.
And I had this discussion earlier with someone and many other people is it's just your choice and your opinion. And you click with people in life and others you don't. And that's life. You can't please everyone.
No, you can't
or
please
be
everyone.
Friends with everyone.
No, but I think people are maybe in positions in their lives where they're using this for more than just like a marketing platform or a portfolio, you know. Maybe they're, because you see it, man. Like you see it. Like if you put something out there and someone messages you and is like, hey man, like it's so cool to see that you do it like that, or oh hey, I learned something from you today, then it's like sweet, it's done its job. But like you said, it's that thin line where it's like, okay man, like now it's like, okay, I gotta go now. You know what I mean?
And that comes across as blending lines too. Like for instance, it's easy. Okay, you look at a female tradie portfolio, right? And you go, she's got 20,000 followers. And
don't even get me started.
Dudes, you look at identical dudes, right? 2,000, right? It's a male industry. Anything, let's be honest. You could sex it up or not sex it up. I don't really care. Male industry, the chick's always going to get more likes and more looks because that's just how it is, man.
It is.
But if you're going to take that and be offended by it, well, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. You're in it wrong.
Yeah,
to start.
Absolutely. The only thing that bugs me about it, man, is that it took me a long time to build my Instagram up off of hard, genuine work, and that's just me being real. So sometimes when I'm just like, what the fuck, you've been on here for like, you know? So that's all.
And if that's what you're in there to get, then I can see why you'd be angry. There's some people like, oh man, she's got this many and I did the same amount of work, man. Well, maybe you need to set up a personal profile account.
Yeah.
And do this. Like, I came in here for work. I use it for work. I could have 2,000 followers. I could have 20,000 followers. I could have 200. For me, it's about my work, my business. It's not about the followers. I could probably delete as many as I wanted off it and have just what I want. It's their choice. They follow you. Your choice. You follow them. You engage. Don't engage. Whatever. Now, at the end of the day, does it really matter? Unless you want more followers, then you're probably putting what you want to do into your business and you're doing it the wrong way.
That's what I'm saying. So there's a formula, in my opinion. Okay, let me just be real with you because you're a cool guy. I like you. Even though I'm like, I can feel like I can trust that I can tell you this without you being like, shit, well, that's, you know. But of course, the end game for me for Instagram noticing now is like, if I'm going to put all the hard work in because people want my help, well, eventually I'm not going to be able to continue to do that in the right way without somehow selling them something that might help them. But that's a thin line, like again, like once you said. So it's like, yeah, I'm here to help people, but it's getting to a point now where I'm like, oh my God, like I don't know if I can do this. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I said, back to the women thing. It has nothing to do with like the work. Like I never get on there for like, hey man, you could be just as good at spraying as me, if not better. But if you post twice and all of a sudden it's like, and I post like 50 times and it's like, yeah, then I'm kind of like, okay, why am I working so hard at this? That's all, right? So, but like you said, you have to know where you stand in this. What are you really using it for? And I keep blaming it on my followers. I'm like, it's your guys' fault because I want to help you. I want to help you. You keep messaging me, so I can't say no, right? It's like I can't say no, especially when other people are messaging them saying, hey, this guy never messaged me back. Can you help me? Sure.
You and 17,000 others. But do you know Matt from Insta Sprays in the UK?
Yes, Insta Sprayers.
So great craftsman, knows his shit. He's all over it. Does brilliant work. You can obviously tell how the process is. He's a fine furniture sprayer. And he's done his course thing because he thought, well, like you're helping out people, but then I'm giving away advice to people that could be my competitor. So if that's the case, I want to benefit something out of it. And he's into the sprayer certified course, so you pay a small fee per month, which is not much. It's like 15 quid a month.
Yep.
And you can go on to his link, and he gives you a breakdown of all his techniques and little tips and advice. And you're learning it from videos, and it doesn't chew up your time. It is to set the video up, it doesn't chew up your time. And if people then want to message you outside that, they can. You'll probably find that could be an avenue you might want to take. You might go, no, I'm not here for that. But he's done it kind of smart, I thought, and done all right at it.
Yeah, it's a tough one because, man, damn. I don't know why you had to bring that up, because like now I'm like, fuck. Now do I got to be seriously honest now? Shit. Oh, okay. Here's my thing with it. My thing with it is this. It's like, I think, and you probably don't know, you probably don't even care, because like you said, Instagram, it could be gone tomorrow. You wouldn't care. Right? So it's like, it has to be done.
I wouldn't talk to you, Danny, so I might be slightly disappointed. But,
but you know what I mean? Like this, for you and me, this isn't the be all end all. And I don't think for anyone else it is either. But if you're going to come into the market and try and sell to people who are following you, first you got to get the followers. So my biggest thing from the beginning was I didn't do shout outs until I had over 10,000 followers, because I found what a lot of accounts were doing. They were just jumping up off of each other. And that's cool, but at the same time, it's only cool while you need it until you get the following, and then it's like, okay, now I can sell it. So I struggle with that a little bit, because maybe it's my fault. Maybe I give too much stuff away for free. I don't know, but it's a hard one when if someone's just going to shout you out and post on your page because they know that eventually they're going to grow a following from that, and then once they hit a number, then it's like, boom, I can make a sale now. I don't think that's cool. That's me. That's all. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, I'd call that piggybacking. But in saying that too, like, I mean, certain people have agendas. And like coming back to where we were, are you here for work or are you here for followers? At the end of the day, what pays you more, unless you're an influencer?
That's what I'm saying.
To be honest, I'm still yet to find out what that word actually means.
Well, it's a tough one, because people are
you have to say you have 1 million followers, and then you start becoming an influencer and getting paid for ads and shit, and it becomes a side thing.
But what I think is wrong is like what you're saying is people are jumping the gun, and now people who shouldn't be famous are famous and they're making money. So it gives people a sour taste, right? It's that flimsy salesman thing where you're like, whoa, what the fuck? How did I just get sold on that? And you start looking like this, like, right?
True.
So
but you know what? Look, hats off to them. They've gotten there. They've done it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lose sleep on it.
No.
At the end of the day, you are the king of your own domain, and if you get out of what you want, and I say, the way I look at it too, there's way too many people out there to compete on this now. So look for something different, or do what you do good.
Yeah.
And try and make the best out of that situation.
Absolutely. So that's
if you go in with, you always get, I always say the truth always comes out at the end. You go in there with a hidden agenda, you get unstuck, man. Yeah. Every dog has its day.
Yeah. I feel you, man, for sure. But it's like you said, there's too many, and it's oversaturated, and now it's like everyone's just chasing the number. And I'm not going to lie, I was chasing the number, but not really, because the number quickly snowballed and caught up to me. So that's when I started pushing. I was like, well, hold on here. Because you know what, Mick, I had to make a decision to myself. Am I going to continue to put this stuff out here? And if I am, why? Right? Like, why? Like, what's the point, right? And I've started realizing the point was to help people. So I started, I'm like, well, shit, if this helped like 2,000 people, okay, maybe I can help some more people. So the number starts to matter a little bit in that sense. Yeah. But it's, it's a double-ended sword, man, because at the end of the day, as soon as you gain trust in people and give them value and try to sell them something, a lot of times people are like, yo, what the fuck, man? And I'm like, I haven't done that yet, but I can see it from what's happening to other people online. I'm like, oh shit, like they just hung that guy to dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. It is a double-edged sword, the old social, and it's just again what you want to get out of it, but also are you willing to take things personally and then publicly shame things online and do this to try and gain like a group to attack someone else to kind of validate your reasons? Like, man, you got too much time on your hands. Go paint something.
Hey man, I'll tell you, there's a ton of shit that bothers me online, and I just let it go.
No, man, what's the point? What's the point? You'll live a really sad, lonely life. Not lonely, but sad life, angry on what some troll has told you or told a friend or said to someone else online. Like, man, I can't be bothered. You know what the simple thing is? You pick up the phone and turn it off.
Yep, for sure.
What you don't know can't hurt you, can it?
Absolutely. Yeah, don't look at it. And you know what? I'm going to say this for anybody that's watching that might be like, oh, what the fuck? There's people I don't follow purposely because either I want to be doing that type of work or it throws me off. Because then I'm...
So what are you saying after this? You unfollow me or...
Hell no, man. I need to learn all those good sayings, man. That's a pissa.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
it's not hate. It's me being like, okay, I need to stay focused on what I need to do. I want to eventually maybe be there, right?
No, I can say the same thing. Sometimes it might be just an engagement thing. I don't really get much engagement out of the person or whatnot, and I'm just trying to lighten the feed because I don't want to have to.
Yeah, man. Thinning the herd.
You know what I mean?
Thinning the herd.
Yeah, and it's nothing personal. No. You do what you got to do, man, and you just keep on moving on.
Absolutely.
And I'm the same. Hey, it's like they say, for every finger pointing, there's 3 pointing back. So I got no beef with people, and if I've had arguments and discussions, I don't mind a bit of a debate. I'm happy to, sit up in the crowd and scream from the back row.
Yeah, it's not good. And you know what? Right now, I found the more that my account grows, which now, to be truthfully honest, because of the algorithm, it grows on its own now. It's just the way the fucking thing works. Like, it's for real. But it's putting me in all these positions now where I'm like, man, do I really want this? Do I want to be caught in the middle sometimes of this or that or that or this? And then all while doing it for free, while I'm stopping my job making me money, I'm like, what am I doing?
See, you're a demon to your own demise. And hey, you got to take wise words from Spider-Man.
With great power comes great responsibility, man.
There you go, hey?
I know that one because you're right, man. And I tell people that. That's why sometimes, Mick, I get a little bit irked sometimes when I'm like, don't expedite it. Just put out good work. If you want to pay for your following because it's going to help you, and somehow, whether it's through ads or having a company help you, fine. Go hard. But at the end of the day, I always tell everyone it comes down to painting for me. Painting.
Well, that's where it started.
Yeah.
And if you deviate from that and start ending up, well, I'm not just saying, but like Victoria's Secret or fashion or something, then you might do it right. But who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
You'll find that it'll unravel just as quick as what it took to get there because it's not what you were there for at the start.
No. Nope.
It's still always about paint or painting, or it might be paint related. Who knows where it goes? You can think about it all day long. Let it go where it's going to go. It's the best thing. It's the best advice.
Yeah.
I reckon you can give to anyone that's starting or wanting to or whatnot.
Yeah. Well, I think when people ask me that they want to start out or how they blow up their accounts, I just straight up tell them, like, think about what you want first, man. Because if
followers.
Well, it's like, and you can't even do that anymore. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you can, okay, so you can buy followers if you want, but nowadays with the way Instagram sees it, a lot of those are duds. They're just blank, fake accounts. So it's no use in doing that. It's not a genuine engagement rate that's coming back to you, okay? So you can do that.
I get it.
Right? Or you can pay for shout outs, oh my God, when someone puts their work on their page, if they have like a 3,000 or a 300,000 account, it's like, hey, you can pay $50 and I'll features. You can pay for features, you can pay for a company that will engage for you while you're not there. They're liking, they're commenting, they're doing all that stuff. And that's all fine. But at the end of the day, when you get that number of followers, what do you want them to do for you? Right? Because like, what's the point in having them all if half of them aren't even really there?
That's what I mean. Like, yay, I've got 3,000 followers, but I'm now $400 lighter in the pocket.
But what I tell people is, if you're gonna sell like cologne, you want that big number, because right when you start promoting your cologne, it's as easy as a click for that someone to go and buy it. So I've studied enough to be like, whoa, damn, like that's powerful. That's how you get these kids that are selling shoes and they're making millions, because they have like 300,000 TikTok followers and then put one post, hey, I got these shoes.
I go buy them. Yeah.
So I can see that, right? Like, man, like if some guys have huge accounts, if they can sell to 1%, they can make ducats. So that's where people are like, oh, now I need to be an influencer so I can make money. And then they skip the whole process of having a craft of some value. They just go right to the end, and you're like, dude, like this isn't even that good.
Yeah, that's it. It's money in numbers.
Not money in. Yeah. So that's why I can't hate on anyone on Instagram that wants to sell. Like even Matt, hey, if you have people that find value in what you're saying and they're going to pay you, fucking by all means, man, go hard.
Yeah.
Fill your boots.
Yeah, smart. Really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I haven't done it yet because, for one, I don't have the time, because if I wanted to do something of anything, it would take time and it would take money. So I don't know. I like where I'm at. I enjoy people. Circle, man. Vicious circle, man. So we'll see. Maybe one day, but I don't know. It's just, I'm also the type that I don't want to come off arrogant. Now he's got a class. Like, who does this guy think he...
Yeah, well, look, I still reckon that still comes down to ego or jealousy. If people think someone's arrogant, then it's just kind of like, well, you've got a beef with this person. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of personality clashes here in social, which, to be honest, you got to be an idiot to think that would not happen. Eventually it will.
Exactly.
I would have loved to thought maybe 2 years ago there was a beautiful paint bubble. Everyone was a great community, but
it's getting bad, man.
It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
It's personality. Some might get along with others, and the next minute there's bitching and fighting and moaning online. And really, what is this? Preschool, or are we fucking adults?
I know, man. And then, like I said, I try to stay right in the center, but fuck, man, it's like I'm not saying I'm taking sides.
If someone's reaching out to you and going, hey, man, I had this problem with this person, they're not reaching out to you for advice. They're reaching out to you to get to you first, to go, hey, man, choose a side.
Please don't. Please don't message me then, because like, fuck, man.
That's all it is, just to get people on your side, so you create this little social media army, and then you can go and attack that other person because it validates your reason for doing what you did. I just say, man, go paint something. Just go paint something.
Hallelujah, man. That's what I always tell people, man, just leave it to the painting. Like, leave it to the painting. Even if people are trolling you because you're, not you, but if you're getting trolls because, you did that wrong, it's like, hey, man, then post something. Then post it up if you think you're better. Like, post it up. That's always my reaction. Okay, hey, I do it like this. Hey, if you think man, post it up. Let's see.
Yeah.
I don't care. Honestly, man, I'm honestly like you. 2 years ago, I loved this. And slowly but surely, now that's why I'm trying to do more of lives and talk with people that I'm like, yeah, this is fun. This is fun, right? This is what it's about. But more and more, I'm just like, it's getting oversaturated, and the wrong people are becoming famous, and it's not cool. I don't like it.
No, that's right. I mean, there are some people that legitimately do deserve it, and there's others that kind of fell into it by mistake, and others that went on here with an agenda and I've done well out of it or still haven't yet.
Yeah.
And there's a story behind it all. But you know what? Either way of that stick, I don't really care. I came on here. I used Insta from the backing of a friend that said, give it a go, a family friend. I said, I'm not a really social media person. It didn't really. I thought, well, it cost me nothing, but a bit of time.
Yeah.
See where it goes. If I get something out of it, great. If I don't, hey,
For sure.
So I gave it a shot. Within a week, I had 2 emails from a builder. I thought, well, if that's all I get, which is good. Kept something going, and it's exploded. And I get what I want out of it, which is my virtual CV, meeting great people on the side, which was unexpected too, yourself and many other people, having great friendships around the world and all having something in common, but having work from it and being able to advertise my work, plus that builder's work. And that's all I get. Like, I think I'm sitting on 2.5 or something thousand followers, and I don't really care about the number. Like, I've got what I want out of it.
Yep.
And that number's probably going to grow. I'm not forcing numbers. I don't care about numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
So, we've done well.
Like I've told you, man, I'm that guy that's like, man, can I get like 10,000 followers? Yeah, I'm going to fucking see if I can do that. Right. And then it's like, man, can I get another 10?
When I first started it, I must say, it was like that. Like, you're checking how many people find me in a day, and it's new.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Let's get to the 500.
Hell yeah.
And once I hit the 1,000 mark, it started to dwindle off, and I'm like, and like probably my own doing too. Like, if I forced it, I'd probably get more. But I'm not forcing it. I'm just doing it and using it for what it is.
Yep. Yeah, you would definitely, because I forced it. I did all the marketing, everything that I could. I studied it, but studied it enough that I wanted to do it the right way. Like, I didn't pay for nothing because I wanted to see if people would actually engage with me. I paid for 2 advertisements because I was playing with the algorithm to see, like, how does it work. But like, whatever, man. Like, I don't know. After it went over 10,000 followers, shit started getting weird.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I did the same thing. Threw a couple of advertisements in, only because I was at the start of it too, just to see where it would go. And I look at it, I think it cost me like $40.
Yeah. Did it do anything for you?
I haven't done one for 2 years now. I don't need to, really. I'm happy with where it is.
Yeah.
But if you do see one of them pop up, well, maybe I'll change my mind.
Well, has it done much for you though?
The advertisement, because you get the breakdown of the, the analytical data, and it shows who looked at it and whatnot, and website attacks and all that stuff. And it's hard to say, because a builder ain't going to go, hey man, I saw your advert. They're usually just looking at Instagram anyway and go, I've seen you. So I thought I'd try that and spread it and see what I got out of it. And I think essentially out of it, I probably bought followers with the advertising.
Well, that's another form. Yeah, in another form. Yep, 100%.
So,
yep.
And then, I only did that a little bit, and then it was only when I got the website up and running. So it kind of, I guess, stretched out a bit more of that dynamic, say, website's open and then people look at that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But
it's a great tool, man. I mean, it is. And that was really one of the main reasons why I wanted to grow my account, because it's a really good marketing tool. But at the end of the day, well, halfway through, I started to realize, okay, like, the affiliate stuff doesn't work unless you're in the hundreds of thousands. People aren't going to give you free shit like the way you think. You know what I mean?
Nothing's for free.
No, man. And people think like, man, I got to blow up my account. It would be sweet to get some sponsors and some free shit. I'm like, take it from me. It doesn't fucking work. Like, it doesn't. Unless you have like millions of views on YouTube, then maybe. Right? Because the companies will go, well, wow, this guy's got millions of views. I'll throw a commercial in there.
And then you get kickbacks from
that.
Kickbacks. And I get it. And I see why everyone that maybe have a following of 10,000 or more, and I would think the same. Hey, man, I might be able to utilize this and go a little bit further with on a different angle.
But they're not us. They're not us, bro. They're not.
A lot of people are doing the same thing. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber.
That's what I'm saying. But you know what, man? The guys who are really should be the guys are guys like me and you, because you're the guy in there like a dirty shirt getting your hands dirty. You're going to get the best content. You're going to get the best footage. But what happens is guys like me and you, we don't have time to be full-time content creators. We're painting houses. So then the
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
you start to see that have the time, you start looking a little closer and like, this guy ain't a fucking pro. What?
Look at his whites.
Yeah,
They're whiter than white. A white
exactly.
man's a
And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, okay, I see how it, and you're like, yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a tough one.
Well, look, let's be honest. And I think if you're hands-on, and like you say, like a lot of people would be on here, you can see through that quite quickly.
Yeah, you can.
But it's sold to well, not ignorant, but I'm not even going to say stupid, but it's sold to people who have no idea. They just see a dude on all in white and a couple of photos are taken, and he's got a web page that looks all smart. It's like this guy wouldn't even know one end of a brush.
That's what I'm saying, man. And it's like, and then you got the people who are saying it. You're like, what the hell, man? Like, yo, why are you doing that? Like, why are you fucking with people like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
because they can make a buck, right? That's why they do it, because they can make a buck.
Well, quick, easy money, isn't it?
Nowadays for sure, man. Like when you read about some of these guys that are making millions off of Amazon from selling, that's legit, because it's the masses. People, dumb, person, smart. You know what I mean? You get them all together and they all start going like this together. It's sales, man. And they're just like, oh yeah. And you're like, you don't fucking even know what I'm talking about.
And where have you been? What head have you had under a rock for all this time?
Hey man, but like you said earlier in our text, like there's a couple 100 million of them out there.
Probably, I would say billion.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. There you go. Right.
I think that the human genome or pool has been around the globe that much that now we're almost becoming inbreds, and people are becoming really dumb.
Oh yeah.
And just don't think outside the circle or think outside the box.
Yep.
So,
well, you'd like this book, man. It's called Influence by Robert Cialdini. It makes me think about you a lot, because you're the guy like me who can see it coming from a mile away, sort of. You know what I mean? But this guy, he studies human psychology on like marketing and sales. And he said like nowadays is the worst time for this, because if it's a professional and they look good, people will listen to them no matter what they say, but they don't stop to look into it. They're content with just knowing this guy said it. Okay. And then it's like, dude, did you
look at him, he must know what he's doing. Look at the fake teeth smile.
That's what I'm saying, man. Exactly. Collared shirt, and you're like, whoa. So you should read that book, man.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Text me that.
I will.
Text me that, mate, and I'll have a look. But I 100% agree. I mean, look what's going on in the world. We have all these so-called experts telling us there's a pandemic, and listen to the experts. The experts are all corrupt. Expat people from third world countries. They aren't doctors. They freaking can't even protect a virus on your computer, let alone virus in the reality.
For sure.
Then look at all this. Oh, believe the experts. Man, come on. I'll go down to my GP, have a look at these things he's got on the wall. What did you do? Not that I go to GPs. What did you do? How long have you been in the service? If you've done this, done that. Okay, I'll put my faith in you. He might look a bit rugged or whatnot. He's not polished. He's not clean.
Yeah.
People just love to be told lies behind smiles. Tell me the truth, man. It might hurt more.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Tell me the truth. They don't want to be heard the truth, because some people rather live a lie because the truth hurts more.
I was going to say that. I think some people, even though they see the truth, they don't even want to believe it.
No, not at all. And that's a scare. For me, that's more scary than knowing the truth. You're so ignorant to know knowledge, to find out knowledge and know what's really going on. And go, I live in my bubble. But you know, in the old saying, they say ignorance is bliss.
Yep.
Yes, it's true, but knowledge is also power. And if you're going to be ignorant, you're just digging yourself an early grave.
For sure. But I think too, the knowledge is power is, a lot of people think they're super smart, but sometimes they're not using it in the right way. You know what I mean? No, so it's scary, because now even the smart people, you can't even trust these guys. Hey?
It keeps on reminding me of that movie Idiocracy, you know?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, man. You got to see that. It does get a bit wild and, like, skewish at the end, but you watch it and you're just like, you know what? this was far fetched not long ago, but now this is the way the world's going. I think we're heading in this direction.
Oh my God. Well,
So
what's it
it's funny.
about though? What's it about?
It's about this super dumb guy in the army, and he can't get into the army, but he works in a library for the army, and he's really dumb in that time. And they do a medical experiment. He goes into like a time capsule. They forget about him, and he wakes up in the year 2000, 2200 something, crazy in the future, alongside this prostitute bird who said, I need money, I'll do the experiment too. They both woke up together in the future. There's garbage everywhere. He ends up being the smartest dude on the planet.
Oh my God.
And it's funny like that, man. And they're drinking Gatorade and they're watering crops with Gatorade, and they're like, it's hilarious.
I gotta watch that.
Go watch it. Like it's stupid comedy, but it's almost so funny now to seeing what's going on in the world. You're like, it's funny because it's true.
Oh man, that's scary though, man. Like I was saying to you before, I'm like, oh no, my poor kids, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. I say you just teach your kids what you think's the right thing to do, and make them aware and street smart. You don't have to have degrees, whatnot, to be smart these days. And this is the whole false ideology humanity has been driven from, probably from the 50s, of behind polished egos and smiles. And these people, they've got agendas. There's a deeper crux to this whole issue humanity's in. It's unfortunate that people that are, well, I'm not going to say smart, but are aware and awake, we have to suffer the blow for the bulk. And then in saying that, I kind of see why they want to cull the population. Why have a whole planet full of consumers destroying the place that have no idea what they're doing, not even aware they're living from day to day?
Yeah, it's too bad, because you're right, man. We're just over consuming and overpopulating and over everything. Yeah, it's too bad. I seen
pretty quick.
Hey?
So that got deep pretty quick there. I think so.
Oh.
I didn't even like the movie.
Well, I just mean, like, I was seeing that David Attenborough documentary he just kind of put out, but it's like him now being 90. Hey?
Yeah. The last 5 months he did it.
Yeah, he did. Well, it's his like memoir, and he's pretty much saying like, yo, people, figure it out or you're done.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watched it?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I love docos, man. Love it.
You like that?
That could be his last one. We don't know,
so.
Man.
Yeah. But it was so true.
When he goes, it'll be, a pocket gone, like that little. I love watching all this stuff.
Yeah, I like it too. I like that shit, man. Hell yeah.
Lot to learn from docos.
Yeah, definitely. Heck yeah, man. No, that's good. Well, I'm finally glad I got you on, man.
Absolutely, Danny. It's been a pleasure, man. I almost felt slightly giddy, kind of meeting. I was going to have my bucket sitting up next to me. It was good, yeah, man. Like, I think it's a long time coming. And obviously the platforms have changed over the years too, where you used to do lives and then you could save them, or now the lives don't save. You have to save them onto your posts, and podcasts are now anything, and a lot's changed. But as they say, I think leave the best till last.
100%, man.
It's been good. I enjoyed it. I think we covered most stuff here.
Oh, fuck, dude, we've been going for 2.5 hours, and I know we could go for like 5 hours.
Wow, I didn't even know. I thought it was about an hour.
Yeah, no, check it out, man. 2.5, 2:33 on the dial.
Jesus. Well, I hope you don't get in trouble from your missus.
Oh, no, man. I planned it this way. Like I said, we were trying to figure out the time thing. I was like, we were both like,
man.
what?
You sent me the message yesterday, and I was like, I'll see what we're doing, because sometimes kids have got events and shit on, and your time, my time, it just makes it impossible.
Yep.
And just so happens she's out today doing a few bits and pieces, and kids are, they're being babysat by the iPad.
Oh, nice.
So it's been a pleasure, mate. It's been great.
That's awesome, man. We need to do it more often. Like, we should do it all the time. Like, for real.
Oh, great, mate.
Yeah, man. That'd be sweet for sure. I like chatting with you. You're a really smart dude, man. And you have the funniest sayings too. It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'll be listening to like your voice memos in the kitchen or something, and my son, he'll be like, where's that guy from? And I'm like, he's from Australia. He's like, what does
Yeah.
have a good piss mean? I'm like, oh, it's the best.
Get you fitting in with the lingo, mate.
Oh man, it's awesome. That's what I love the most about Instagram. So for anyone that's in here right now, if you think that I'm trying to like get followers and all this and that just for me for this hidden agenda, it's not. I just love what I do and I love meeting people, man. I do. I just want to help everyone. That's
Likewise with me. People could go, oh, well, you had a thing with Danny because she got 17 and you want to go. Mate, if anyone knows me, that ain't what it's about. I generally just wanted to have a chat with you. I could do this on this platform. I could just give you a video call, mate, and we could have a talk. But I'm sure there's people out there that want to hear the story.
They do. Yeah, I get a lot of people that are saying like when they listen to the podcast, they love it. And I'm like, well, what do you want to hear? And they're like, I love hearing about other people's experiences. And, you know, it's like, and I get a lot of people messaging me right now saying like, oh, it was a cool show. It was a cool show. It's like, I haven't started a show. I just want to talk with other walks of life that, you know, but they love it, man. So thank you for doing this because they're going to enjoy it. They have 2.5 hours now. They can dig into this and we'll do it again. I know we will.
Oh, absolutely. Awesome, man.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate it, dude. So what are you going to do today now? You just going to chill out or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been chilling a little bit, but I'll probably might get the kids out of the house. They've probably been on the tech a bit too much.
Yeah.
And, mate, Saturday, it's good. I like it when the house is peaceful. I almost record it and play it back to myself.
Hell yeah, man.
The house with kids, it's noisy and loud.
Oh, yeah.
And there's all going on. So when it's like this, it's very relaxing. I can feel like, you know, my chi is really nice.
That's good though, man.
But no, it's not. I think the kids have got a birthday party to go to later this Savo, and that's about it.
Nice.
Just a nice easy Saturday.
Yeah, we're the same, man. It's about 6:36 now, so probably mow some food and maybe just watch a movie and hang out and pick on my kids.
Get a run.
Yeah. Well, oh, dude, man. Through COVID, I was drinking a lot. Like, too much. And, hey?
Why not, mate? Why not? I'll be doing it too.
Well, I should learn to drink, like, straight rum because I drink too much Coke. Like, I'm a pussy, man. I'm not much of a drinker. So it's like, would you like some rum with your Coke? Like, it's, you know, so I was drinking a lot of pop and I was like, you know, I do like it. Tastes good.
Okay, going on to rum quickly. Do you have you had the Kraken?
I have had the Kraken. I have.
I'm a fan of it, mate. With dry though, or on ice.
Well, see, that's my problem. I'm not much of a drinker, so I mix everything with Coke. And anyone that knows a good rum's gonna be like, dude, what are you doing? You're ruining that goddamn rum. Yeah. So I'm a pussy, man. I don't drink much. I've never been much of a drinker. You know, I don't know. I didn't like the way it made me feel. I mean, I like to have a few drinks socially, but drinking wasn't really ever my thing. So, yeah, I'll just have some rums.
If you make it down here, mate, I'll give you a lesson on drinking.
Yeah.
More than mate.
What do you mean, man? I'm coming. Not when I come. I'm coming, man. I would love to. I would love to. I'm just, if you can just clear the house of any, like, snakes, spiders, anything poisonous.
Oh, it's pretty good here, man. It's not that bad. I ran into a blue-tongued lizard in the backyard a few weeks ago, and I think I had a scorpion. That's about it.
Really, hey? I would love to check it out.
But there will be snakes about. But, I mean, to be honest, they're more scared of you than you are of them. Yeah. And if you're walking the field that they run, it's only if you sneak up on one by mistake, it'll probably go. But, I mean, I've seen them around, not in the backyard yet. But I have seen them around many, many places everywhere. And they're all pretty just, as you guys say, docile.
Yeah. I mean, man, like, well, you know, it's here. It gets like -30. There isn't anything here that's like really too deadly. Well, you got your mountain lions and shit like that, but like no venomous snakes or anything.
Yeah, no, I think 7 out of 10 will kill you. But it's all right. Like, it's not that bad.
What? I'm still coming, man. I don't care. I'm gonna drag my wife down there.
You'll love it, man. It's good. But hey, look, we'll see what the future holds. And
yeah,
mate, if you're ever thinking about doing it, hit us up, 100%.
Oh, dude, I would love that. Thank you very much, man. Thanks again for joining me. It's been awesome, dude. You're such a cool guy.
Absolutely, man.
Hell yeah. So let's 100%. Do it again, man. And as soon as we can, and we will. I see everyone doing this. Can you leave us with some advice? Any kind of advice. Doesn't even have to be painting advice. Any kind of advice.
Look, I think advice can be something that people can either take and say it's not advice. So I'm just going to leave you with something that people can take or leave. But I say, just be you. Like, don't take things on board too much. Try and find that spot. And it's hard to, because everyone's been that angry and whatnot and never known that spot. If you're honest to yourself, it won't matter what anyone else thinks. It'll be like water off a duck's back. And you'll go in with best intentions in life, and you'll get where you need to go. And that's really, at the end, the long and short of it.
That's fantastic. 100%. I would pinch your cheek, because you really are that sexy boy that everybody says. So wise. And you're a really, really good painter, man, for sure. And we, and even just through like chatting, I'm like, damn, he just took the words out of my mouth. This guy knows what the fuck's up. So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate friends like you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And likewise, mate, I kind of see what you do, and you're a craftsman at your trade. And if someone can't take something away that what you do, then they must be pretty good too. Like, it takes a lot for people to pick out little things.
Man. But I'm learning every day. I'm learning every day. That's why I love the platform. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, brother. Much love. Thanks again.
You take care.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again soon.
We will, man. You have a good day. And like I said, maybe we can make it like a monthly thing.
Oh, we could do, mate. Could do. I might have to beat the missus off with a stick, but yay.
Mine was chirping up in here. She's like tapping on the glass a little bit. So I can hear them eating dinner. So I'm going to go do that.
You do that, man.
Thanks, dude. Much love, man. I appreciate it.
Pal.
Have a good day, dude. All right.
See you, legend.
All right. Ciao, man. Thanks. Man, all right. So there you have it, guys. Michael Hartwig from HPS Decorating down there in Melbourne, Australia. Wicked dude. And thanks for everyone for sitting in. Appreciate that. Thanks for hanging with us, especially on a Friday, his Saturday. So I'm going to go have a bite, and I'll put this up as soon as I can for you guys to listen. Thanks again, and we'll see you all later. Like I said, I'm not busy right now, so you're going to be seeing a lot of me, I think. Much love.